That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the show where we wax poetic about the movies we see on a month-to-month basis. It's time to crack open our... Movie Memoirs!
Yeah!
Dragon, usually we do kind of like a thesis statement on the month and everything. We don't got time for that. We don't got time for that this time. Let's get to the news.
Yeah, the news. All right. So let's rip off the Band-Aid of all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So people
you
die.
Take the lead on this first one.
All right. So Dean Stockwell. I believe he passed out of our guys here first. He's very much what I'd describe as a journeyman actor. This guy was a journeyman child actor from way back in the day. He's been acting for over 70 years, Tiki. I mean, this guy, again, by journeyman, I mean like he's been in the business for a long time. I think the most prominent thing people know him from is Quantum Leap. He was like the co-lead in that show. He'd been in things ever like to give you like one of the earliest things he did as a child actor. He was in one of the Abbott and Costello movies. He was in Abbott and Costello Go Hollywood. He's in that. He went. He was in that. He was in the original Dune movie. And the main reason I want to talk about Dean Stockwell is he had a very special role in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. He plays older Tim Drake, which I always loved.
Oh man, yeah, and Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, of course. Like that's one of the few pieces of Batman Beyond media that I actually saw as a kid. I don't remember much of it, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Pink Pearl in the comments. Pink Pearl, it's nice to see you.
Hey.
And then also Donovan Martin. He says, "I love Ghostbusters so damn much."
Yeah.
Donovan says, "I have yet to see Encanto. I'll be waiting for it to come to Disney Plus. Also for Eternals, I thought it is a solid 8 out of 10. Love the visuals and the Celestials. Acting could have been improved." All right. Donovan, Encanto is very, very good. I would in my humble opinion. I mean, we'll get to it. I don't know what Dragon thinks about it, but just to give away my thoughts, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I don't know, I don't know your situation, of course, but I would try and see it in theaters if you can. I would recommend it. Anyways.
Yeah, but again, I always liked the fact that he played the older Tim Drake because, again, just given his roots as a child actor, it's kind of appropriate. He gets to play, kind of the older, both kind of like, the older, kind of the end point of the career of a young Robin. I thought that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, poor Dean Stockwell. When I heard his name, is like, oh, I will always know the name Dean Stockwell because of Return of the Joker. I will always know that name. So when I saw it pop, like, oh no, not Dean, no.
Oh God.
So on the flip side of things, let's see, who do we have next?
Soundtime.
Yes, why don't you tell us about him, Tiki?
Okay, Dragon, you know what is so damn trippy about Soundtime?
Well, let's say his full name. He's dead for
Steven Soundtime.
There we go.
But Dragon, come on, all Broadway people know it's like Soundtime. He's Soundtime, man. Come on. Yeah. But do you know about the Tick Tick Boom thing, Dragon?
No.
Okay. He is played by Bradley Whitford in Tick Tick Boom.
Cool.
And he is like a pivotal piece of that movie. And to me, it's just this timing of that is so surreal. And also, I'll get into like with Jonathan Larson. Like Jonathan Larson died right before Rent premiered, like right before his dreams came true. And Steven Soundtime was one of the big people to make Jonathan Larson's dream happen. Like he was one of the big people that pushed him along after his first play failed. And it's so trippy that we get Steven Soundtime, like, in a major movie in pure biopic fashion, big supporting performance by a major actor. And then he's gone, man. I feel like it's such a trippy bookend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not a huge Sondheim guy, but what I do know is that basically you got redefined the musical. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, I mean,
West Side Story.
I could go down the list, but I would bore you to tears.
Well, I
Like
mean, the three I know. I mean, you got West Side
yeah,
Story, you got
of
Sweeney
course.
Todd, and you got Into the Woods. Those are three that kind of really changed up.
Those are like the big three. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are probably like part of the Mount Rushmore for sure.
So again, you really kind of recontextualize, like, okay, this is how we can do it. Let's go a little off brand here, but we'll make
Uh
it
huh.
work.
All right.
And then we had a kind of a Disney passing. The great Will Ryan left
Oh
us.
man, this one got to me, dude. This one got to me. Petrie Dragon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Disney, and he's done a lot of great Disney stuff. But
But also,
Petrie,
yeah,
man,
but
that's the big one for me.
not just Petrie, Tiki. Don Bluth's Good Luck Charm. He's in almost all the Bluth movies.
Yeah. Well, I know he's Don Bluth's Good Luck Charm, but come on, Petrie is his
No,
Rex.
I know
you know
that.
what I
I'm
mean?
just saying he's been around. I'm just saying Petrie's the iconic one. It's like the piggy bank of the John Ratzenberg characters, if you will. Yes.
So yeah, man, this threw me through a loop. I didn't even realize. Like I was just kind of like casually browsing, I just caught it by surprise. It really it really got to me. I don't know.
Well, Will Ryan, one of the classic voice talents for sure. I mean, honestly, the thing that for me it kind of gets me with Will Ryan is the fact that of course, classically, Tigger, the original Rabbit, of course, a lot of Winnie the Pooh ties, but the big one. He was the original Pete. Basically, Jim Cummings owes his career to Will Ryan, for like giving these characters breath in the first place, and then he okay, well, I know what to follow. But sure. Pete, though, I mean, for me, the thing kind of gets me is that Get a Horse. I mean, they use the archival Will Ryan, performance for Pete there, which is it's like something kind of gives you chills, like when you think about that, or like, oh boy, I mean, the classic greats. I mean, you have Walt Disney, you have Will Ryan. It was just kind of magic, and now it's kind of I like that was kind of captured a little bit of them, just kind of in recent years. It was kind of nice.
All right.
Okay, and lastly, briefly, Art Lafleur. So Art Lafleur, this guy was a character actor. He did TV and did some horror work, like for example, The Invisible Woman and The Blob. This guy was in that. But he had done a lot of TV work over the years. I mean, some stuff you might recognize, Home Improvement, Malcolm in the Middle. But the main reason I want to bring up Art Lafleur, given that we're going into the holiday season and everything, he had a very memorable role in the Santa Claus trilogy. In the latter two films, he was the Tooth Fairy, aka the Mullinator. And Tiki, this guy always struck a chord with me because I love the Santa Claus 2. And Santa Claus 2 had such charming bits between Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy because he wanted to change his name to the Mullinator. They outvoted him, but Santa Claus was always on his side. And there's this beautiful bit where Santa catches him and needs a ride home. And basically has to prove, like, hey, I know Santa Claus, and you, sir, are no Santa Claus. But once he finds it, oh my God, it's him. He says, Santa! It's just the most uplifting delivery of, oh my God, it's you, it's my buddy. It's like,
Totally.
It was just really uplifting. And what I saw was like, oh no, not when I found out, oh God, that's the guy. No, not. So it was. It's a shame that he's left us. But seriously, again, these really nice little personal touch there. Real nice thing.
All right, so let's transition into from genuine passings and sadness to Insanity Dragon.
Yes. So for those
Pickle Reek.
What?
This is genuinely like some of the most insane fandom that I've seen since the whole Pickle Rick Szechuan sauce thing.
Well, so we've already talked about the No Way Home trailers. We're not going to do that again. But the big thing is that at the end of the No Way Home trailer, they announced Spider Monday, which is when the tickets are going to go on sale. Which, yay, giving us a heads up. Not so great. The fact that all sorts of craziness was going to follow the ticket acquisition when we're all basically waiting there at literally midnight Sunday to get tickets.
Dragon, we're going to contrast our stories together, all right? Because I would like to tell my compelling tale, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so there I was at midnight. I was like, oh, it looks like it's crashing for everyone, so odds are a lot of people are going to be trying to get it at the same time. So therefore, there's a lot of screenings. It's like I bet it. Even if I have to go to a later one, I bet if I hedge my bets, I can wake up and not everyone is going to be jumping on at the exact same time. I do it. Sure enough, I go to a 6:30 screening. Not all of the seats are taken, but a fair amount are, and I get my favorite seats. And yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Dragon, what was your experience?
Well, I'll tell you. So, I'm getting tickets for
Pink Pearl. Yes, this is definitely crazier than the I don't feel so good meme. I think this whole the spoiler obsession with Far From Home, I don't want to go into it, but I could do a rant about it, how people are so obsessed with the spoilers for this movie. But Dragon, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'll tell you. So, I was going to get tickets for me and my buddy so we can see it, on day one, because, it's what we like to do with the majority of the MCU films. Pretty much every MCU film but Eternals, but that's what that was. But in terms of the ticket getting process. Regardless, so I'm very hyped for Spider-Man. I think as we all are to some degree, some lesser than others, apparently in the room with me here. But regardless, looking forward, Spider-Man No Way Home. So I'm there. I'm expecting 12 o'clock. I have no idea how it's going to go because this is going to be historically, as this has now gone down history as not has ticket craziness gone down like this since Avengers Endgame. That's have ticket sales gone like this nutty and this massive. I assume it outsold Eternals. I'm not sure. I know that was like a big.
I would hope so, Dragon. I would hope so.
I'm saying there was like a pre-sale. I'd be shocked if it were not the case, right? Just given all the stuff that happened, you think Lionsgate clearly would have to. Anyway. So with Endgame, you had like a stupid digital ticket queue line, which I hated and drove me nuts and drove me to the brink of madness because it's like you're trying to get on like the last life raft as the Titanic's going down. Pretty much. That's what Endgame was. So this, I didn't know what to expect. Okay, I'm just gonna be. We know what time it's gonna go. It's instead of like the uncertainty, so I had that going for me. So I'm there. I got Fandango pulled up, and it's like, okay, I know what the show times are, thankfully. So when the thing happens, I'm going to refresh, at midnight, then 12:01 is when it specifically happens, and come 12:01, you refresh, crash. It just says like, this service is unavailable or something. And I was like, what the? I'm figuring, oh god, everyone is getting the tickets at the same time. But you'd think they were gonna. I was expecting like a stupid queue line or something.
Oh god,
was not the case. It was just like, no, it's not functioning. Instead of like, okay, you're on your way. It's like, no, you're not on your way. You don't know how many other people are buying your seats. And I'm seriously. So my goal was
do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
So my goal was to get the Dolby tickets. Ideally because I hadn't seen any movie in Dolby this year. I don't think. Well. There might have been one, but the point being, I can't recall. Regardless, I wanted to see Spider-Man in Dolby. Is my point. So that's the goal. But the main thing is to get them. Period for day one. So refreshing like crazy. I'm a night owl, so I'm basically eventually I get through. But that's like if it goes on sale midnight, I don't really get in until 3:30 in the morning.
Right, yeah.
So the point being, finally get in. I find like the problem is. You keep refreshing like crazy and get the inch closer to where, okay, there are the show times. You pick the show time, unavailable. You do it again after a few minutes goes by. Okay, I'm a step further. You get to pick the seats. Won't check out.
Oh, God.
So, again, you get inch closer and closer getting up to that 3:30 in the morning area. So,
Dragon, that honestly, I've had similar experiences trying to get fast passes for Disney World, using that stupid My Magic Plus system. So I know what that type of system is like.
Exactly.
Years, yeah.
So let's think. So eventually, I get through the Dolby thing. And I see, oh man, it's that stupid thing where I can't get three seats together. It's like everyone's all sparsed and everything. I mean, earlier when I could see the seats, there was available seating. I had the seats, but it wouldn't let me check out. So it irritates me is the fact that some people are getting through instead of everyone not being able to get through until like some line is established or something. Anyway, so I luckily. My backup option worked like a charm. The 5 o'clock feature for the regular, got good seats and everything. Basically, I got it right after I guess everyone filled up for the Dolby and the IMAX and what have you. And then, I got in for the first feature on the 16th. Yay me! And then next morning, I find out so there's a plethora of added show times that were not there before.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that to happen. Yeah, I was kind of banking on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got in for the first one, so it worked out fine, I guess. It's early because basically, my guys they kind of have a hard out at a certain time, so earlier the better. So I mean, it worked out. It bugs me that I still couldn't get in the Dolby to save my life. So that bums me out. But still, I'm getting in and just finding out. I had no idea about this till I kind of heard about it afterwards that people are like selling the tickets online for inordinate amount of money.
Okay,
It's
I'm not
crazy to
going to
me.
criticize these people, but I'll criticize I'll criticize the people selling them. I just think that the people buying them are misguided. I'll say that much. They're misguided, very misguided. But yeah, Dragon Donovan is very sympathetic to your plight. He says, "No, that is
I
a
know.
nightmare."
Yeah. Yep, you get in and you select the seats. Okay, I got the seats.
Right.
A little to
Oh
the right,
God.
but I got the seats, and that's right there in the middle. No. Anyway, what about again? I'm all.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's like honestly, I will make this declarative statement, and then we'll move on. All right.
All right.
Fuck scalpers.
It's
Okay.
crazy though. Scalping hasn't gone on for I haven't seen like scalping for movie tickets like ever in my lifetime.
Yeah, but I just think at this rate, you're just taking advantage of dim-witted, misguided people at this rate. I really do.
Oh, you don't blame the scalpers. Blame the idiots buying the scalp tickets. So
Like I said, Dragon, I honestly think if you're paying that much for stupid ticket, like there's something mentally wrong with these people that the scalpers are taking advantage of. That's honest. That's genuinely what I think of the situation.
if it were me, I'd just if you're super desperate to see it on day one, see like the late feature, like the midnight or like the beyond midnight feature. That I get.
Right,
Really like go that far with instead of like I'm going to shell out thousands of dollars for.
I'm just like nothing is worth that, man. It's like I would never shell out that. I would go like I would easily I mean, I'm not going to judge these people, but it's like I couldn't imagine like if I was in that situation, I couldn't imagine waiting until like the Sunday matinee or something. I'm sure there's tickets like a couple days out, I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm just trying to genuinely folks, dude, don't pay thousands of dollars for a stupid movie ticket. It's not worth it.
It will be interesting to see like if it's filled up like that fast on day one, how booked up it's going to be like through the week and so on. That'll be interesting.
All right.
Okay. So other Spider-Man news. That's we're bridging away from the craziness, but still kind of bridging into some like, okay, I think we're counting our chickens a little before they hatch here, but okay. So Amy Pascal, that lady, Amy Pascal. She's. I think what's happening is Sony is this. They're trying to make.
That's just her title, just that lady. It's on her name tag.
Well, look, everyone's being really harsh to a lot of the ladies in charge of the studios right now. I don't want to be that guy, but just Amy Pascal, say whatever you feel about her, fine. But the point being, Amy Pascal, I think representing maybe Sony's kind of bad impulses here with the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah,
she's
a little bit.
Basically Amy Pascal. She's like, hey, don't worry, kids. Don't forget what Tom Holland said. If I'm playing Spider-Man when I'm 30, I'm doing something wrong. Don't worry about that, kid. We're gonna pay him a lot of money, regardless. Listen. There's going to be another MCU Spider-Man trilogy. We're still viable. We're not taking our ball and going home. At least that's what she's saying. Whether that's going to clear in the
she used the word home. Sorry,
but you see my point. Though basically, she's promising before the movies come out that there's going to be another Spider-Man trilogy in the MCU. Now you'll notice Kevin Feige didn't say it. Only she does. Only she has. So. Yeah, so I'm assuming of that lineup, it's probably going to be like the rumored crossover films, like this, like Venom and Spider-Man. Then maybe in a perfect world, the Deadpool Spider-Man movie. That's just my wishful thinking.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not super enthusiastic about this, but you know what? At the same time, it'll honestly be. I don't know. Like me, Dragon. I would honestly like to see another director besides John Watts.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. Watts is going to be getting Fantastic Four, so would you think that he's going to do both the Fantastic Four?
I would like to see another director. That's my thing. If they could do another director, have a slightly different tone to it, I do think that seeing because keep in mind, there is a whole untapped potential of college stories with Peter Parker that we just haven't seen on film. And I think this would be a good opportunity to explore that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. So if Holland ever wants out, they always have the out of Miles Morales. You always introduce him, and then you're golden. So they can always do that eventually if he wants. If he wants to go, I just think it's kind of
That's
silly.
what I assume they're gonna do. Yeah.
I just think it's silly for him to announce that like now. Of like, why are you talking? You're about to have like the biggest movie ever. You want to say, well, what's with you and all these Bond guys going with the same thing? Come on.
And on the note of Silly Dragon, would you like to see my impromptu social media patented list of potential sequel titles? I'll run through them super quick.
Fine.
Spider-Man, There's No Place Like Home. Spider-Man, Homeward Bound. Spider-Man, Home is Where the Heart Is. Spider-Man, Home on the Range. Spider-Man, Can't Go Home Again. Spider-Man, Homewrecker. Spider-Man, Fly Away Home. Spider-Man, Home Alone. And my personal favorite, Spider-Man, A Dog Ate My Homework.
Oh, I got a better one.
Okay.
Spider-Man, Home Ec.
Oh, God. All right.
All right. So, but seriously though, I think what I would want from a Spider-Man trilogy is what we just kind of need. Period with Spider-Man is that I think honestly what we need more so is a show featuring the Kingpin and Spider-Man. I think we just need to shrink the stakes.
You know what's funny is that I still haven't gotten around to Hawkeye episode 3 yet. Oh, that's a good one, Pink Pearl. Pink Pearl was Spider-Man Home Sweet Home. That's a good one.
That would be a good one after this one, honestly. Home Sweet Home.
Yeah. I like that one.
But to be serious, I'm just saying, in general, though, if we were to bring back, the big thing people want to see is Spider-Man going up against the Kingpin, and people have always, again, we're testing the waters with this animated show. Let's give Spider-Man a show. I mean, in general, with the trilogy, whatever we do next with Spider-Man, we got to shrink the stakes because multiverse is kind of huge, and I understand it's kind of unavoidable if you want to tie into Doctor Strange. And all these shifting movies is not helping things. But the point
Hence
being,
why I threw out the college stories. I think the college stories are a lot more personal.
That's what I'm saying. I just hope that the transition to the college thing after this is going to go smoothly. That's my hope. I hope we're going to be able to go with the college stuff easy. Versus like, and he's a fugitive, and then there's a multiverse, and then there's all this craziness they're throwing at us in this next. And I was hoping we can get back to a college level story, which I mean, that's my hope.
Is that true? In Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew said before he faced Rhino, there's no place like home. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's trippy, dude. Considering there's no place like home has been like that's one of the big like home puns I've been throwing out.
Well, I think that was I'm pretty sure that's the one I kept throwing out for like what we, I'm on the bandwagon with that. That's what we should have called this before we got No Way Home.
Now, here's someone who's smart and isn't going to pay thousands of dollars for tickets. Pink Pearl says, I'll watch the Spider-Man on streaming. I'm not that into Marvel, but my family is also the tickets. Yeah, Pink Pearl, probably good call.
Yeah, but they're making it tricky to stream that sort of thing with the Spider-Man movies until like a lot of time passes.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Unless they do, I don't know how the $20 rental thing works. Because they're not going to do that for Disney Plus, but they're going to.
Oh, they're not going to do that with a damn Sony movie. Are you crazy?
Well, I know that. What I'm saying is, I wonder if like I think Venom, Let There Be Carnage did something like that. I wonder if that principle would apply to the Spider-Man movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, also we have that guy in the comments. Just want to shout him out. Sorry. Let's see. That guy says, Tiki, don't worry. If there will be another trilogy, it'll be a new director. Yeah, we don't even have time to really speculate on who that could be right now. But yeah, I definitely hope so. And he's not impressed with the home jokes. Fair enough, that guy.
All right, let's see. So let's talk something. This is like moderately inconvenient, but still.
And that guy, I totally agree that people took Tom's comments way too literally. I think the Spider-Man fan base is honestly a little bit insane. So I'm with you there. Go ahead, Dragon.
Okay, so to transition us, here's some news that's just more. It's less crazy or like kind of like ominous, more just kind of just moderately inconvenient. Let's start with Better Call Saul season 6. It's going to be split. It's gonna be split into two halves.
2 8-episode seasons, right?
I don't know how many. I don't know what the episode.
Oh, we don't know how many.
Well, I know how many episodes. I know how many episodes. I don't know what the breakdown is going to be. It's 13 episodes total. I don't know how.
13. Ooh, that's
we're getting 13 episodes. To be fair, yeah, that's the thing. So it's going to be 13
You
episodes.
have no idea how much that bothers my OCD.
So
That bothers my OCD so much, Dragon. It should be a clean 7 and 7. God damn it! It should be a clean 7 and 7. Why is it not a clean 7 and 7? Oh my god!
I think you've
Dragon, that's literally going to keep me up at night.
I wouldn't let that wouldn't let that do it. I think it's a silly thing to keep you up at night.
I don't know. My OCD goes.
So here's what should keep you up at night. The fact it's just annoying AMC yet again. All the finales of their shows, they yet again. Why do they have to split them up? It was like it's bugged me so much of Breaking Bad. Just release it all at once. Why?
I'm okay with it.
Really? The 7 and 7 thing bothers you, but the fact that it's being split doesn't?
I will throw this at you. Because we're going to get 2 beginnings and ends, it has the possibility for a little bit more Gene stuff.
I mean, look, I'm sure they're going to... That's not... I'm sure you're right about that.
And I think structure is structure, and I like structure. And if we're basically going to get 2, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a little bit frustrating. I do hope that there's not like a 2-year gap in between the 2. I don't think there will be.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm sure I'm saying the structure is still going to be that way if they want to break it down like that. It can still be that way, but I just give it to me all like just let it be a continuous event. Don't break it up into 2 events.
Yeah, I'm saying the fact that there is a break, I feel like they're more inclined to do more stuff with the Gene storyline there. I don't know. That's just gut instinct.
I'm going to make one prediction. Okay, so in terms of cutting it in half, I think back half with you. I'm with you, Gene on the back half, but I think it's going to be Gene and the Breaking Bad crossover in the back half. I think first half is assembling what's left to get us there. Like
totally,
we need the Cadillac, we need the office. That's going to be the first half. Second half. And also probably the Hamlin thing the first half. Second half, that's going to be like, okay, we're in the Breaking Bad. We have Cranston finally on the show for a bit. We have like the intersect, and then what's left, probably like 3 episodes or how many is left, all Gene.
Totally. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 7-6 split, just so that the last 6 would just go like boom, boom, boom.
Almost that's what I'm saying. Like, movie. Yeah, like your last 3 are going to be all Gene, and those in the first 3 are probably going to be like the Breaking Bad crossover to
anyway. Right. Pink Pearl says, "Isn't every fandom insane in their own way?" Absolutely, yeah. Pink Pearl. The Spider-Man fandom just happens to be in the headlines right now. So,
because everyone loves Spider-Man, so that's why.
Every fandom gets its turn. Anyways, okay. Where are we?
All right, casting. So back to some good news.
Okay. What do we got? Renfield. All right, Renfield, Dracula movie starring Nicolas Cage and Nick Holt. Like it. Sold. The only thing I'm afraid of, Dragon, is I'm afraid this is going to be another Nick Cage project where it's too good to be true. Like, Nick Cage as Dracula kind of feels too good to be true in the same way that Nick Cage as Joe Exotic was too good to be true.
Yeah, well, what gets me really excited about it is the fact that I think it's I don't know if they've announced like it's Blumhouse or not, because I know it's Universal is releasing it, but they usually do that with the Blumhouse stuff. So it's like it's the next spoke in the Invisible Man wheel. Mm-hmm. We had Invisible Man. We're gonna get the Frankenstein, and we have, and assumingly this is like an interesting way to do Dracula from the Renfield perspective, which Nicholas Holt's gonna be the lead of this movie. But Nicholas
Dragon, when we did Dracula, the Lugosi version. Renfield was easily obviously Lugosi's Lugosi, iconic performance, but Renfield really is he's the driving force of that story in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I really like Nicholas Holt. There was a time when he was talked up for Batman before Pattinson.
Yeah. I remember he was on.
I would have signed up. I would have co-signed that. I like Nicholas Holt.
I mostly know him for Fury Road, honestly.
Right. Of course, the main thing I know him for is the X-Men movies. But
it's so trippy because his character in Fury Road and his character in X-Men couldn't be further polar opposite personality-wise.
Because he was great as Beast, man.
What a lovely die!
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
it's utterly just crazy. But yeah, I'm down for this Renfield movie, especially if it's like a Blumhouse production. Because they have not disappointed so far with the Universal Monster stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's see. So after that, Delroy Lindow. He's been cast in Blade. I have a theory as to who he might be playing.
You think he's going to be Whistler?
I think it's a 50-50 shot. If it's a supporting character, it's got to be Whistler. It's either that or the bad guy. It's either the bad guy in the movie or is Whistler.
My theory's Whistler, but we'll see.
I think Whistler could work, but then again, if you want Mahershala Ali to go up against the heavy, you can't do any better than Delroy Lindo for Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So either or, it's a 50. It's a coin flip, man, but it could be good.
All right. Also, I've got a random bit of casting news, Dragon. I'll just hot off the presses. This is just the only reason I'm saying this at all is because I'm intrigued by the director. So Kate Blanchett and Kevin Kline, Dragon. Kevin Kline.
Whoa, what is this?
They have joined Alfonso Cuarón's new thriller, and I don't even think it has a title yet. But I am intrigued by Alfonso Cuarón, but it's got a bad news, Dragon. There's a monkey paw in this deal.
What?
It's an Apple movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's fucking Apple, man. Anyways,
Apple Plus is all the stuff I want to watch, but it's not.
I know. It sucks.
It's
I'm
so
going
much.
to reiterate it again, folks. I don't mind
this
paying the subscription fee. I mind when they literally block their content from devices. I don't want an Apple device. I am happy with my PC. Thank you very much.
I hate their success so much right now. Why can't Apple Plus? Why can't they just swap? Okay, why can't all the Paramount Plus stuff be Apple? Why can't Paramount Plus be?
Whoa! Don't mess with my Paramount Plus, bro. I like Paramount Plus a lot more than you do. That has all my Survivor content. And Nicktoons content, to be fair, and Nicktoons content.
That's what I'm saying. There's the regular channels that you could probably get Survivor through there, technically.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Technically Hulu. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Let's see. So, lastly, we have because we pretty much did reactions to all the big trailers. But let's talk about Turning Red, the next Pixar movie. We got.
So the one thing I really want to highlight with this is I think it's this might be like the biggest case with Pixar ever. Like I love how they keep doing this, Dragon, and we just saw this this year with Luca, where this feels like such an extension of the director's short. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you did a really great short. Let's bump you up to feature, and it's going to be that, much in the same style and personality of the short.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm
that guy Paramount Plus just has a back catalog of comfort food TV that I like. I'll leave it at that.
Put it this way, all the good stuff hasn't come to Paramount Plus so far, as from what I understand. The Frasier reboot hasn't come yet. Like all that sort of like the really tantalizing stuff's there.
Yeah, the original stuff, I will not argue with you one bit.
That's like obviously all the Star Trek fans are unhappy with Paramount Plus and how that whole thing.
Oh, I don't blame them. Yeah,
that's my point. I have nothing personal against Paramount Plus.
Yes, I love the the Toronto late '90s Backstreet Boys. I love all that, as Pink Pearl points out. So it's got so much personality to it, distinct personality.
So speaking of the personalities, to piggyback off of that, so Dome Shi, the director who did a Bao, and I was kind of like her testing the waters, like, can we give her a feature? We're going to give her a feature because Bao was amazing. I love Bao. So Dome Shi, this is going to be a personal story for her. She's got a big personal connect because she is Chinese. She's Chinese Canadian, which is what the lead of the movie is.
Yeah, I love that. That makes it so personal for sure.
The big thing this trailer hit.
Dragon, I do think that I have somewhat of an attachment to Chinese Canadian characters because of Knives Chow.
Oh, there you go.
From Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
So kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. So a layer that I think this trailer gives you that the teaser didn't, because the teaser kind of paints the mother in a different light, but I like that we've added kind of a layer of pathos when the mother is legitimately concerned about her daughter versus just embarrassing her in the teaser. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, so apparently there's a red panda kind of family curse where every time she gets upset or kind of gets emotional, she hulks out.
I got to tell you, I'm not thrilled about the family curse element.
I mean, I think it's a wait and see, Tiki. I mean, they sold us on a man and
it's an obvious metaphor, right? So like, I don't really think that much of an explanation is needed. I don't know. We'll see.
Tiki, they made us cry over pants. Okay, I think we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Put that on the poster, man. I love that.
They made us cry over a pair of pants.
All right.
Anyways,
all right. It just seems very, very similar to Encanto.
I don't get that at all, Tiki.
As far as plot points go.
I mean, it's a trailer. I don't think we're really yet.
Anyways.
Regardless, though, I do feel it could be like a spiritual follow-up to Inside Out.
Oh, yeah, very much. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, TV.
Yes. What's on?
All right, Animaniac Season 2. I think this was a big improvement over Season 1, Dragon. I really do. I think the only thing they need to do is get a little bit more variety, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
Put
say
more variety in our variety show.
I don't know if I'd say improvement, Tiki. I'd say it's more of the same, but the same problem. That
Pinky and the Brain was firing on all cylinders, and I was cracking up during a lot of the Pinky and the Brain bits in ways that I was not in Season 1. I don't know. Some of those Pinky and the Brain bits, man, that's why I really like. They're just really stand out to me.
I liked all the Pinky and the Brain bits in the first season as well. So for me, I like the Season 1 stuff. I don't know. I think it's been just kind of Pinky and the Brain has been the standout of the show, period, to me. And I just think overall the reboot has been successful. Just again to echo your point, Tiki, we need more original stuff. We need variety. We need original stuff since we've lost a lot of the iconic library of Animaniacs characters, which is embarrassing.
That being said, I do think that at the very least this season we got a lot more not a lot more, but we got some really memorable scratch and sniff stuff.
I don't know. We did, and I was thinking like, we only got scratches of one episode and wasn't a great episode, but this time
right. There were like a few, Scratch and Sniff is Fagin and Oliver Twist is freaking priceless, man. Priceless.
Yeah, that's great.
The whole Oliver Twist episode, I raved about it when we did the recap. I really think that's one of the best standalone episodes maybe ever of Animaniacs, including the original series.
Just the fact that he went to the trial. It's still, that's what really cracks me up in that episode. Why would he's in the box with the jury? Why is he in the trial? Anyway.
I don't know. Like I said, man, that whole episode was freaking inspired. But anyways.
So guys, don't save all the original stuff for like the end. Like guys, can't we do it at the very least? If we're
that drives me crazy. I don't know. I don't know if there's some sort of contractual mandate for that or what. It makes no sense.
I don't know. All I know is I love the gnome, the incredibly loud gnome. And
like I said, the gnome in the mouth is like the baby's first Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah,
it's kind of like introducing kids to Larry David humor.
It's Curb meets the Incredible Hulk from '78. I dig it. With gnomes. All right. Let's see. So where do we go next?
Oh, Lock and Key Season 2.
Yeah, let me tell you about Lock and Key. So again, remember, this is the Carlton Cuse show. Carlton Cuse is doing a comic book show on Netflix.
Previously on Lock. Does he say previously on Lock and Key, Dragon?
No, it's Netflix. They don't have the.
Damn it!
If it were on Netflix, he would do it if it were on network TV, but it's not. So Carlton Cuse, our guy from Bates Motel, and Lost for Tiki. This is a comic book adaptation of Joe Hill's. It's Stephen King's son for the folks out there. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. He did this comic book series called Lock and Key, which I heard this recently. I had no idea. Apparently, Lock and Key, I think, is a spin-off from The Sandman, technically, which is interesting. Which I have no idea how it connects, because the key thing is like, oh my god,
that's really weird.
I blanked on because I've been rereading. Well, through Audible, I've been rereading The Sandman. I haven't gotten to the second audio play yet, so I don't know if they're going to bring up the key thing there or not. So I don't know at what point in the Sandman story the keys get in there. Anyway, regardless, so I think somehow it's like how Lucifer is a spinoff of Sandman. Apparently, Lock and Key is somewhat the same. That's at least what I heard. Regardless. So I'll admit, a rewatch of Season 1 would have behooved me. So if you want to get into Season 2, you really got to watch Season 1. I know it kind of goes without saying, but trust me, you're going to want to do that because there's a lot of stuff. It builds momentum really quick. So season 2, I was a little worried given the fact I did not rewatch season 1 going into it, but once it gets going, it really gets going. A lot of good stuff happens. Again, the standout kind of Farmiga-esque bad guy in the first season, she has cooked up quite the scheme in season 2. You know, they kind of like to get her hands on some keys, which is kind of her whole shtick. You get a history and the origin of the keys this season, which is really cool. Like how they've been forged in the first place.
What's the deal with the keys? I'm sorry, is it like are they keyblades? Or I know they're not keyblades. I just want to make that joke. But what's the deal with the keys? Are they like magic keys?
So the family's called the Locks. Okay, it's the Lock family, and they have a place called Key House, which inside the Key House they have all these magical keys that do different things. Like there's an astral projection key. You can go and use the mind key, put in the back of the guy's neck.
Crazy. All right, really, I can't wrap my mind around that just based on the description, but fair enough.
Trust me, Tiki. Just the Carlton Cuse of it all is a reason you should watch it already, man. Come on. Anyway. No, but seriously, it's a Stephen King's son wrote this, man. It's good stuff. I've really been liking
Stephen King's son.
Yeah,
Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
Well, when you put it like that, Dragon, I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great writer.
Yeah. People love this stuff. Yeah. But seriously,
that was funny. That like Stephen King, and I got perked up. Son. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, but
are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Kunst. Ow. All right. Anyways.
But no, seriously, though.
Family Guy was good.
You do have. See, now you got me thinking about that gag.
Oh, he's just like so disappointed, Dragon. So maliciously disappointed.
Okay, my point is all the Q. It's the Q's hallmarks that we love applied to a comic book story, which is really cool. And it's been renewed for a 3rd season, so I would recommend you get on board with this one, buddy. I think you'd like it.
I'll try, man. Time. I mean, we'll get to Tick Tick Boom with the time.
Well,
but
I didn't say tomorrow. I just said in just period, like maybe before the 3rd season. I don't know.
Dragon, I need to write a musical myself about how it's like I have so many shows that I need to get to, but not enough time, man. Okay, anyways, speaking of shows that I have been wanting to get to for years and have finally gotten around to, Hunters. This is really good. Dragon, I don't think it's perfect. Here's my thing with it. I do think that it drags a little bit in certain elements. I think that I just think that every episode is like over an hour long, right?
I don't know if it's over an hour. I think it's just up to an hour.
But I don't know. I just there's 10 episodes. I just my one issue with this is that I feel like the pacing is just a tiny bit off in certain elements. Other than that, I can clearly say all the Auschwitz stuff is easily the most compelling stuff.
Oh yeah.
That one scene with Pacino being forced to shoot the people, and then that being oh my God, Jesus Christ! I mean, talk about a great backstory. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. God. I mean, tell me, how did you feel about like the chessboard in the first episode, where the Nazis forced the prisoners to play chess with human pieces, human pawns.
Yeah, I mean, it's all great. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
And of course, Dragon, one of my boys. Oh God, I'm sorry. This is so fucking stupid. Why am I blanking on his name? I know it's Dylan, right?
Oh, you mean Dylan Baker?
Dylan Baker.
Yeah, Dylan Baker.
Thank you. I just didn't want to say the wrong name. Yeah.
Dylan.
He's fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah, he's so great. Here's one character I want to know, because I figured he'd be the standout for you. I want you to tell me.
Oh, he's easily the standout. Yeah.
Well, no, a different character. I want you to tell me.
Okay.
Travis, the neo-Nazi.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously think that Dylan Baker kind of steals the show, but he's definitely like a good kind of supporting villain for sure.
I think I used the Tyrell Welk comparison with Travis or something.
Oh, I could see that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, after this show, I mean, Logan Lerman, if Tom Holland got hit by a bus and we needed the recast Spider-Man tomorrow, Logan Lerman would be my guy.
Well, don't wish that on Tom Holland.
I don't want him to be hit by. I'm saying
why is that the thing that happens to Tom Holland for you that comes to mind?
Fine.
I'm sorry, I don't need to rib you.
If he suddenly wants to leave the role and we can't get Miles Morales in yet, I'd say, hey, Logan Lerman.
All right. Okay. Oh, all right, Dragon. It's your moment. Dope sick. Tell me. I'm all ears, buddy.
All right, dope sick. So this was the highlight of the month for me. This is a show on Hulu. Just a phenomenal story of the opioid crisis and the origins of the opioid crisis. This is a mini series on Hulu. It's based on like a book about the true event and everything. Where it's basically the structure of this thing, Tiki, is just something to behold. So what we do here is it's two stories, kind of like boots on the ground and kind of the going after the corporate guys. And it's
Is
basically
it a
kind of
drama or a documentary?
no, it's a drama. It's
Okay. Okay.
it's drama, but it's based on all this really happened. I mean,
Gotcha.
basically the one plot let me put it this way, one plot happened, the other plot I mean is probably just based from testimonials, but essentially it all happened.
Ooh. Okay.
So
That's
it's got
interesting.
you have two timelines. You get the origin of the opioid crisis, and you have the legal case in the present trying to prosecute Purdue Pharma for causing the opioid
Uh-huh.
crisis. So that's kind of you have your two timelines going on there. Strobard plays the guy who caused it all, Richard Sackler,
Ooh.
and he's
Okay.
he's the bad guy. My God, he's very magnetic. What he does
Uh-huh.
in this show, man, he's something to watch. And again, it's just these. Again, it's just he's utterly wonderful as he basically he basically is selling the too good to be true wonder drug that is OxyContin, which you kind of know where that goes. So
Uh-huh.
these two lawyers and Rosario Dawson, they're trying to bring Purdue Pharma down, and meanwhile on the home front, kind of on ground zero, as it were, the other plot. Michael Keaton. So Michael Keaton is a small
Oh
town.
man.
It's Keaton and Strobard, man. They never meet.
God, that's a freaking power duo, man.
That's the thing. They never meet in the show, but it's really they're the heavies
That's
of the
honestly
show.
even better sometimes. Sometimes I love stories where the protagonists never meet.
Yeah, seriously, Keaton is so amazing in this, Tiki. So Keaton, he plays a small town doctor who's basically your boy, Will Poulter. He plays
Mm-hmm.
the pharma rep who gives like,
Okay.
hey,
Okay.
I'm visiting doctors and giving you the OxyContin so you can try it out on your patients. That's his job. He has to
Oh
sell it.
shit.
So basically, Will
I could
Poulter
see
has
how that would go terribly, terribly wrong. Oh
so so
God.
so again, Keaton, he's a very good doctor. He's a very well-meaning doctor. He's in a mining town. Girl injures herself. They set up.
Wait. Hold on. This isn't the same story as that one documentary, is it?
Oh, you mean the pharmacist?
Yes.
Well, they're both about the opioid crisis, Tiki.
But
This is
it's not
just
the same story
no,
though.
no, no, no. It's not. It's
Okay.
not the
Okay.
same story.
All
It's
right.
just it's the same crisis, different
Yeah,
story.
for sure.
Yeah, but it's as good as the pharmacist, though, man. It's better
Uh-huh.
than the pharmacist, debatably. Yeah, man, I love them both. But this is great. So it's again just Keaton. Again, he's just trying to help this mining community, but yeah, his patients with injuries, and he prescribes, and you get to see like the crisis in its beginnings and how it just unfolds. And he kind of infects this town unintentionally, and he feels so guilty about it. And it's just a brilliant story
Oh
of
man. Yeah, you
Tiki.
sold me on that,
It's
dude.
this brilliant story of addiction and greed and
Is it
struggle.
Netflix, HBO?
Hulu.
Fucking Hulu. Of course it's Hulu.
Well, I led with the fact it was Hulu. Yes, it's Hulu, but Tika, this is the best thing Hulu's done. I think, quite possibly.
I could believe it because there's a reason I don't have a Hulu subscription.
It's gripping, and Tiki. I don't want to give anything away because you'll really. I want to tell you so much about this, Tiki, but I can't because I don't want to ruin it for you. It's gripping, and there's some gobsmackingly just brilliant moments of like have the dominoes fall. Like, oh my god, of course. Just the situation, you're gonna feel so tense, like you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's so smart what they did there." Yes, you'll love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That guy said, I was hoping you would say, oh, it's on Apple TV. Also, that guy in Pink Pearl kind of ribbing you for the Tom Holland stuff. He's saying,
"Oh no, I
if
don't
Tom
want
gets
it."
hit by a bus next week, I'm sure Dragon will be very upset.
Apparently, I'm one of the few people.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't want to wish that, but how trippy would that be? How trippy would that be now?
I feel
All right,
very bad.
anyways.
I mean, look, I'm one of the few. Everyone else is always bagging on the kid. I like Tom Holland.
Yeah, including me. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm always defending to this guy. Come on. All right.
In that Uncharted movie, he literally looks like a high schooler, like fucking wearing a Nathan Drake costume, a Halloween costume.
Anyway.
Hey guys, I'm Nathan Drake. All right. Anyways.
All right.
Are you a little old for the prom, mister?
See, more people need to see that short film that Nathan Fillion did for the Uncharted game. It's him and Stephen Lang.
No, Dragon, that's exactly why I'm pissed about the Holland one. I have seen that short.
Yeah.
That should have been the damn movie.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah. People are saying Nathan Fillion's too old. Screw you, he's not too old. Come on. He's in great shape. Anyway.
Oh, Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know I'm one of them. All right. Can you guys tell that... Can you guys tell that I wasn't impressed with that trailer?
Anyway.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, no, Tig, it's you next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's see. We have The History of Late Night. Yeah, have you seen this, Dragon?
Yeah, I saw it ages ago, yeah.
Oh, it's really good, man. It's really good. I don't have a ton to say about it, you know?
Yeah, I rewatched it this month, too, so we're both...
Yeah, nice. I mean, I will say the early episodes kind of don't hold my attention as much, but man, once it gets into Letterman and Leno, I'm all ears. I'm captivated. I'm hooked.
See, I told you this. I saw the TV movie they did about the whole battle for late night. So yeah, I was very familiar with them. I think this documentary, kind of this
Dragon. I think Conan had one of the all-time great screw jobs in the industry, in the history of the industry, man.
Yeah, you mean Conan, right?
Yeah, Conan. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Poor Conan.
And it's like, but you know what? The good thing about the documentary is that, like, I don't think it lets Leno off the hook, but I think it humanizes him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just all around really great stuff. This was just a great kind of like comfort binge for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you should check out. They have a bunch of stuff kind of like that, and they're probably going to get like the history of the sitcom and the history of comedy on. Well, no, they have the history of comedy is on there now. If you want to watch that, you want another comfort binge.
Is it? Okay.
There's 2
I
seasons.
might check that out.
There's 2 seasons of the history of comedy.
So I will say, Dragon, this is the type of documentary style I vastly prefer over the whole, like, yuck. We're going to do a fun dad joke every time we deliver information.
Well, yeah, so all the Tiki, you really, I think they're all coming to HBO Max at this point. They're the CNN documentaries. That's what these are. They're all part of the CNN.
Yeah. I think that yuck thing works for the toys that made us,
but
the toys that made us, and literally nothing else.
I'm going to disagree with him on that one for the foreseeable future, I guess.
I don't know. The movies that made us, man, I've tried a couple times. I'm just like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Didn't you walk away learning some stuff, though?
But again, it's like, I feel like with movies, they're a lot more multi-layered, so the yuck stuff just doesn't work.
I agree. We need more of the toys that made us. That's the most interesting thing you can do, because no one knows about how we got the toy lines.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to Stargirl Season 2.
Okay, what do you got?
So again, I really loved the first season of Stargirl. It started as a DC Universe show that then kind of aired simultaneously on the CW. But again, Keeley, it was not a CW production, which is why it was so good. Now, Season 2 is now made on the CW. So let me put it this way. Not as good as Season 1, but it got into a groove after a bit. It did. Now, the only issue with Stargirl Season 2, it's more of an issue with my sensibilities. See, I've never liked the bad guy that they adapted for the second season, Eclipso. Eclipso was like, I think, the most weak sauce Justice League villain ever.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Eclipso's like, hey, it's a little gem that mind controls people. It's like, really? That's what we're doing? It's lame. So made him look like a stupid elf or something. Like, really? That's Eclipso's always been lame to me. So I just like, but everything else though, like we introduced more members of the JSA, which are cool, and then we introduced more members of the Injustice Society, which includes the Shade. The Shade's awesome. Shade's a Flash villain.
Shade.
Yeah, you're going to see the Shade in animation soon when we do the next Batcave. Yeah, the Shade is.
Nice.
Yeah, the Shade's a Flash villain.
It's a funny timing, then.
Yeah, it's like the Shade. Like, how the heck are you going to stop the Flash? Well, the Shade controls darkness with a staff. He can black things out. So
you know what the Shade's superpower is, Dragon?
What?
Just throwing sketchy stuff at people. He shades them.
But that's the thing, though. The way they characterize him,
the Shade.
He does have a rapacious wit, and he does kind of shade people a lot too in Stargirl. So yeah, I mean, so the setting of Season 2, it's summer school. It's it's with they're in the high school setting and everything. It's kind of where Stargirl is because she's a teen superhero and everything. Again, I don't like the head games that Eclipse does because we're in people's minds and everything. But I think it's teeing up an impressive season 3. So again, I still recommend the first season of Stargirl to you, Tiki. And I mean, if you like that, then maybe go on with it. But it's all on HBO Max now. But I'm still loving Stargirl. I wonder if it's going to fall prey to the CW curse. But given the fact that it never started as a CW show, I don't know if that's going to give it some immunity or that gives at least one more good one in the tank before it all loses pieces of itself as it goes on per that stupid curse. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see. Next up for me is Rugrats 2021. All right.
Yeah, so how the heck was this thing?
I don't have a lot to say about it. It was good. It was decent. I mean, it was a good watch. It's definitely not something I would do a podcast about or anything like that. It's nothing incredible, but I thought it was a fun little update. I definitely think the best part, as with the old show, was the adults. I like how they updated all the adult characters, especially Grandpa Dragon. Grandpa's great. He's like one of the main reasons to watch the show. He's like
it's McKeon now.
What?
It's Michael McKeon.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, if anything else, just watch it for that, as a comfort thing. But I don't know. Honestly, Dragon, I'll say this. I think the art style, like, once you get used to it, it kind of has that Clone Wars effect where it's like you really do grow to appreciate it. I do think it works for the fantasy sequences a lot, and I do think the fantasy sequences are very creative. I'm not gonna lie, the voices for the babies are a little, but they're not like the Chucky voice is not great. I'll just say it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, how can you replace perfection?
No one can replace Christine Cavanaugh. Yeah, it's it's unfortunate, but it's true. But
they got E.G. Daily back for Tommy, didn't they?
They did. Yeah,
that's good.
But the Chucky voice is it's a little unfortunate. That guy says breaking through stall ball and got hit by a bus.
That's not funny, that guy. That's not funny.
Jesus Christ.
I give one colorful example. Now come on.
All right.
I never, he'll be fine. I never said it was a fatal hit.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, to be fair, if you wanted to say that it wasn't a fatal thing, you could have used something less dramatic than getting hit by a bus. I think that's the joke. Anyways.
Fine.
Okay, but yeah, it's like I said, Dragon, this is not like a game changer of anime. I do think it's a lot better than something like Powerpuff Girls 2016. You know what I mean? It's very, very inoffensive. Put that on a damn poster. Very inoffensive.
Okay, so it's not offensive like Powerpuff Girls 2016.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. It's like, there's nothing in here that's going to be like, oh, God, no, they killed the character for me. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. Is Dill in the mix?
No.
Right.
It's all just OG Rugrats. No Dill, no Kimmy.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen Kimmy's design in this style floated around, so I would not be surprised if Kimmy and Kira get added in season 2. I don't know about Dill, though. I have a feeling that they're going to shy away from Dill because, like I said, they are focusing a lot more on the adult characters, and with I feel like the big problem with Dill is obviously like the speech thing. Like, and I will give them credit. Like, they are trying to keep this, more or less like tasteful. Yeah, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean?
You're going to go in the crazy direction like Netflix basically like CG animating the original Pokemon movies. We're going to do Rugrats in Paris.
I can't. Yeah, that was weird, man. That was weird.
So you don't think they're going to do that for like, okay, well, if we do Kimmy, we got to do the origin of Kimmy, which means we're going to have to reanimate the
No, I don't. I would not be surprised if they brought back Coco LaBouche and kind of retooled that story, but I don't think we're going to get Euro Reptar Land.
Yeah.
I would love Euro Reptar Land, but I don't think we're going to get it.
I don't think it'd be in the budget. That's why I don't think they.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't do a whole literally a whole. It's not just like a cut and paste, copy and paste.
No.
Okay, well, we got to build it again.
I mean, Euro Reptar Land is one of the all-time great locations in all of Nickelodeon. I think.
Oh, yeah.
anyways.
For sure. Let's see. Donovan's asking, did you guys see the image of the production shirt for Ant-Man 3 with Kang on it? I glimpsed it because I didn't want to...
off. I'm sorry, Donovan.
Don't say that. What's wrong with you? Come on.
Donovan, that was not directed at you. I am just not a Kang fan. I'm not a Kang fan. I'm sorry.
Self-control. Come on. But yeah, I did see it. I didn't want to focus in on it too much because I want to go in a little kind of clean to the whole to the Kang thing, what the final product looks like. But yeah, it's cool. They had like a wrap gift. I wonder though, the Ant-Man mask is broken in that. I wonder if that's a moment from the movie or just like it's a stunt team. So I wonder if like, hey, we're doing stunts and we break things sometimes. Ha ha ha.
We break things sometimes.
I wonder if it's like a cutesy gag or if it's like a big moment. Because again, think about it. We've established in Ant-Man that if that suit gets broken, God knows what's going to happen to the guy on the inside if he's broken when that helmet's broken. I don't know.
All right, so Dragon, I was avoiding this thing, and then I was watching Power of the Dog on Netflix, and we'll get to that next month. We'll get to that. But during the credits, instead of listening to Johnny Greenwood's fantastic haunting score, it cuts to Tiger King Season 2 trailer. And I hate to admit it, but it caught my attention.
So let me tell you about Tiger King Season 2.
I like the fact that Season 2 seems to be taking on like a meta quality, it seems.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So, the completionist in me, curiosity, me to check out Tiger King 2 or Season 2, however they want to brand that. So here's the thing. So you know me, I love Making a Murderer, right?
Yeah.
I love the Making a Murderer show, and I love how they told that story, and I love that you haven't gotten to it yet, but Season 2 is basically, okay, so we're in a world now where the show has existed in this world, so document it going forward. Making a Murderer is a thing out in the world now. It has completely changed what Season 2 is. That's for Making a Murderer. So something similar, not as compelling, but something similar happens with Tiger King. Where, okay, it is an entity. It's hit the world, and we have to address that. Okay, so now things have changed. I like that Season 2, they came with a plan, and that each episode is kind of centered around something. And you have, basically episode 1, I thought was really impressive in that it's kind of, there's the whole campaign for Joe Exotic's release is paralleled to real world events that will be going on at the top of the year of 2021. I'll let you fill in the blanks as to what those events were. So you have that, Carol Baskin, look, Carol Baskin's own principle kind of weirds me out. Now, look, to be fair, hard to trust. It's hard to trust how much of that's her versus the editing. I don't know. Jury's out, but I kind of like the woman gives me the heebie-jeebies. Regardless, I liked how Season 2 is structured. It's for this out there story. It's an out there story about trash people who are feuding to insane lengths. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But again, the media response mirroring kind of like Making a Murderer Season 2. I did really. That was the big
media response that definitely drags me in.
Which, Tiki, trust me, if you like it here, you'd love it for Making a Murderer Season 2.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right.
Okay. So South Park, the post-COVID special, Dragon, oh my God. It's literally like Matt and Trey were like, hey, this Tiki guy talks an awful lot about how he wants a flash forward in The Incredibles. Well, let's blow his mind with a flash forward.
Yeah.
Dragon, Jesus Christ, this flash forward is insane. This is one of the most insane flash forwards I've ever seen in fiction, period. It's insane because of how like weirdly realistic the future stuff is and kind of like jabbing at like there's a lot of great gags about the future stuff. Like, like for example, anytime anyone rings a doorbell, there'll be like a classic, like kind of like Trey Parker voice of like, it's the future singing doorbells because that's what happens in the future, singing doorbells. It's just stupid shit like that. Drake, the characters are so on point with this. It's like it's literally like 40 years later. So it's like all the characters are in their 50s, and it's unbelievable how on point they all are as far as characterization goes. It's such a treat to see everyone and how they've aged up. It's a smorgasbord of character work, Dragon. I will say there is some very, very, very dark story points in this special that are like flat out depressing. Like some of how some of the characters' lives have fallen apart. I don't want to give away anything. I don't want to drag out too many details because we'd be here forever. but the dynamic between adult Kyle and adult Cartman is freaking goddamn priceless. I love it so much. It's great. It's hilarious. All right. That's all I've got to say for it, Dragon. I will say this. I didn't really realize that with the 15 movie deal, it would entail 1 hour specials and not 90-minute movies. And I will say this, if they're just planning on doing 15 1 hour installments of this, this 40-year time jump, I'm honestly into it. I honestly think it could have some potential to have, some long-term story traction. So, all right.
Right.
Oh, okay. Dragon, I'm sorry. Take the reins, all right?
All right. Okay, so let me tell you folks about Masters of the Universe Revelations Part 2. So, of course, I'm not a He-Man guy at all. I watched this, for Kevin Smith, and the fact that he was kind of reaching into animation in a big way, even a Netflix series, and the fact that a lot of the people Kevin Smith's kind of bumped elbows with over the years have kind of come back for this animated show, doing voices in it. So a lot of people have been really split on Masters of the Universe, mainly the diehard He-Man fans. And look, I'm not uber familiar with that world. I can't fault him for feeling certain ways about that. But now, I did want to make the point though that everyone was getting up in arms before he got the full story, because now we have Part 2. Now we have the full story. So I think now the judgment should have been coming in. So I love the idea that Kevin Smith, and he had this diehard, showrunner whose name is escapes me at the moment. I know Tim Sheridan wrote on it. I don't believe he was the showrunner, so I can't really recall who the other guy was. But the idea that I really like the idea of Kevin Smith interpreting the He-Man toy line, which is where the writing process really starts with the He-Man show, from what I understand, from the little I've seen about the behind the scenes of the He-Man property. So I like the fact that, okay, we're doing what kind of informed the He-Man just as a property in general, and kind of applying that to animations. That, to me, is what the sell of the show is. So Part 2 is very much, okay, so He-Man, he's without the sword. So it's kind of like, okay, it's the big sell, like whoever gets the sword has the power over Grayskull and all that sort of stuff. The very little I know about He-Man, right? So we had some interesting kind of layers here. So we had some really cool stuff, like He-Man without the sword. He can still call down the power, but he ends up being this, this barbarian prototype. Basically, he's like the prototype for He-Man, which is the Conan the Barbarian inspired version of He-Man, which in this case is the Hulk. It's power untempered. So that's what I'm saying. I love the deep pulls into the He-Man toy mythology. They're kind of like working into the show like that. The sword's in 2 parts. It does this. We had some cool Skeletor and Evil Lynn stuff with their relationship. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, she's always with him. Why is she with him? So we got to dig into the layers here. So I think they fixed the major problem that I had just being an outsider with He-Man, is that, Teela, she got really bent out of shape with her. Oh, Adam's He-Man, but he never told me, that sort of thing. So Teela was a bit of a problem character, because she was like, the man died for everyone's sins, and you're gonna kind of blame him from beyond the grave, so to speak, and all that sort of stuff. And obviously that got undid, and a lot of people were upset about it. Seemingly killed off He-Man, and the fact that still He-Man not very present in this show. Now, I really think, I feel so bad for Kevin Smith, because he got really raked over the coals for the whole, it's kind of more of the Teela show than the He-Man show. And I really wish I think he would have saved himself so much trouble if he just emphasized, guys, the show is called Masters of the Universe. So He-Man, not necessarily the must of the show. So anyway, so it's a question if we're going to get season 2, which it's unclear given the response, because again, the He-Man fans, I don't know how.
If I was Kevin Smith, I would be like, nope.
No, I mean, look, that's the thing, though. It's
like,
all
fuck you guys.
But Tiki, you have spite viewership, though. So that's the thing. It's like, if the numbers come in, there'll be another show. And he had a great time working on the show, but then again, was kind of a confidence shake. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's going to come back to do it, because he loved doing it. But the question is, like, well, will the hate watching it be able to get Get a season 2? Because I mean, that's what a lot of people saying. We don't like the show yet. We're gonna watch it over and over again. It's like, come on.
That's what I don't understand, Dragon. I don't think I'm ever actually gonna watch this show. It just doesn't interest me. But
I mean, look, as an outsider with no skin in the game for He-Man, I enjoyed it. I think it wrapped up nicely. You have kind of a complete story now that you have part 2. There's some finality to it. I mean, look, I didn't love it, but I liked it. I think it was kind of worth watching. I don't think it'd be worth like doing like a breakdown or anything on. But it's like, hey, cool.
right.
Let me this way, it's not going to make me go back and man, I should watch the original He-Man show. It's not selling me on the He-Man brand, but it's like, okay, well, I get to see some of the fun of He-Man and good Kevin Smith got to do this. That's cool.
And Dragon, I realize I skipped one. This is pretty unsubstantial, but I'll go through it.
Yeah, but it destroys my flow. But go on.
Sorry. The Jonas Brothers family roast. Dragon, literally the only reason I watched this is because the title of it sounds like it sounded like I could get some the Mark Sipka special family special, and honestly, I kind of did. It was delightful. You get to see all 3 of the Jonas Brothers' wives roasting them. I have no skin in the game with the Jonas Brothers. I really don't know, but this was a sick day watch, and it fulfilled my need for that quite nicely. Right.
Cool. So had we talked
Keenan hosts. That was fun.
Wait, Keaton?
Yeah, Keenan.
Oh, Keenan. Oh, I thought you said Keaton for a second. What?
Keenan Thompson.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Yeah.
All right. God. So even had
those Jonas Brothers, am I right?
See, my original intent here was that, hey, we're talking South Park, which then bleeds into another adult show, which is F is for Family, Season 5.
Okay.
All right, so this is the final season of F is for Family, the Bill Burr Netflix show. It's no BoJack finale, but it's a finale that's fitting for the show. I'm going to say that much. I was satisfied with it. Of course, big arc for Frank Murphy between seasons 4 and 5. The show, you can tell the show is building towards an end, so it doesn't feel like they were kind of preempted or anything. This is absolutely okay. This feels like they told the story they wanted to tell. Very much the season, the theme of family and closure with issues of fathers and sons and that sort of thing, which is kind of what the whole show's been built on from the outset to a degree. We cover Thanksgiving and Christmas, which brings a little full circle to season 1, which took place during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. There's still for me, F is for Family. I've really enjoyed it, but I mean, I won't lie, this has never really fixed itself because I mean, Bill Burr, of course, he wouldn't even ever feel compelled to fix this. he doesn't care. I don't mean that in a negative way. Just we know Bill Burr would
destroy you if you suggested fixing it.
I don't say no. Like the only thing, I personally, comedy's always subjective. I don't care for the gross out gags or the inbred hillbilly kids. I don't like those hillbilly neighbor kids at all. But for some reason, Bill Burr approved it. So Godspeed to him. So he wants the inbred hillbilly kids for authenticity of a dirty 70s. He let him have them. I will say the only legit criticism I have, that's just taste issues. The only legit criticism I might have for season 5, it's a small thing. It doesn't compromise the season at all. It's that I think Kevin's plot line, I think it wrapped up great. I just think that we did a thing where we had to buy its time till we could do the wrap up. So it feels like we kind of dragged that out a little bit more than we should have. But on the whole, those with the series and just with the last episodes, I think this show is a testament to Bill Burr, why we love him, and I'm glad we were able to see kind of him stretch his dramatic chops, which the show really allowed him to do. We get to see Bill Burr, the actor, as well as Bill Burr, the comedian. I think this show is really a gift to Bill Burr. No one's really talking about it. It's a shame because it's really funny.
Oh, I've seen people talking about it.
Really, you have?
Yeah. I think this season in particular, like just because it's the end, I've seen the animation community talking it up.
Well, that's nice. Okay, there you go. Okay, that guy says.
Guy says Jonas Brothers. Wow, I didn't know it was 2014 again.
Yep.
Oh, believe me, that guy. There's a lot of those types of jokes in that special. Let's see. That guy says Bill Burr is my favorite comedian, but I never watched F is for Family. I apologize to the Bill Burr gods.
It's really good, that guy. It's really if you like Bill Burr.
Bill Burr not caring to fix his own show is very on brand. Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? Fuck you! I'm going to keep the inbred hillbillies. I'll double down on the inbred hillbillies.
Yeah.
Dragon, I never want to interview Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, tear through you like what tissue?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Tiki, though,
Exactly.
let me ask you this: did you ever watch those clips on YouTube where you see him being interviewed by people who ask him stupid questions?
Yes, I have. And it's
Tiki,
terrifying. As a podcaster, it's terrifying. It's like a horror movie.
So long as you don't ask him stupid questions, you'll be fine.
No, I'm just saying though, it's like the risk of it.
Honestly, the thing I would ask him if we sat on Bill Burr, I want to ask him questions about F is for Family because he barely talks about it. I want to know what he thinks about F is for Family.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay, so we are off to November 2021 movies. All right, let's go.
All right.
Eternals. So everyone loved this one, right?
Yeah, there's not a divisive opinion in the place. No.
I think this is one of Marvel's most flawed movies, but also one of its most ambitious ones. So, take that for what it's worth.
Look, I think Phase 4, let me go this way. I think the pandemic has done quite the number on Phase 4's momentum. That's not saying Phase 4 is doomed or anything. I just think it's been a bumpy start than anyone anticipated. And, polarizing as the film is, I think it's okay. Look, just okay.
I think it's okay too. I'll take ambitious over something like Captain Marvel any day of the week.
I can respect what it tried to do. I just think it was a little overly ambitious in the execution. That we jammed a lot in there, and that kind of bit us in the end.
Honestly, what the biggest nitpick for me that still drives me crazy, like the big thing that sticks in my craw is
what?
The Kingo thing.
The fact that we just kind of wrote him out of the clock.
Yeah. Because, like I said, it would literally be like if Han Solo just peaced out at the end of the second act of New Hope and just didn't come back.
We didn't do that.
Still, we didn't have the woohoo moment, but we still gave him a metal dragon. That's what it was like.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So that's
that guy absolutely agreed. His appearances on Conan are honestly some of the best Bill Burr material for sure.
Right. I mean, honestly, Bill Burr Bill Burr and Norm Macdonald, they were, I think, the Conan standouts, I guess, if you really want to kind of isolate it.
All right. I spent a whole sick day rewatching all the Bill Burr Netflix specials too. So
right. Anyway, I'd say Eternals, it's okay, but I will say this though: the most disconnected I've been with an MCU film. That's not saying the movie was. That's just it's for me. I just could, for the life of me. I love the Kirby concept of Eternals, which it's based on kind of the futurist Greek mythology, if you will, like the whole chariots of fire, chariots of something, and it's basically the whole what if the technology and the pyramids and everything came from kind of visitors from space, which essentially that's kind of what we did with. That's the story of Eternals. Now, again, it did not have the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not in humans, though. That's the big takeaway. Again, no. Did it have Guardians of the Galaxies like everyone loves it all of a sudden? No, but is it in humans? Thank goodness, no. It's too many characters, and I'm not crazy about the twist with the conflict of it all. I won't say what it is in case anyone hasn't seen it, which there might be a number.
I mean, I think it's interesting from a moral ambiguity point of view, but that's about it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's also of course our standout Eternals, Kingo and Phastos. I think Brian Tyree Henry, you did a great job. But
Kingo pieces out at the end of the second act, and Phastos isn't introduced until the start of the second act.
It's just bothersome. So tell me if this sounds crazy. I had kind of an epiphany about Eternals. If I had to sum it up, is that I think some people I think are loving it, which I don't get, but some people are loving it because it's different, but just because it's different, not necessarily better. It's it's different. The MCU's never done a movie like this. We love it for that reason. It feels like some blind love for the different versus, well, it's different. Does that mean it's better though? Do you really say you like this?
I honestly think those people are just I can kind of see where they're coming from on the basis that I feel like a lot of the MCU stuff that we've been getting in this year, and this year has just been I honestly feel I feel like we've had an assault of content for MCU. It's 2020 we didn't have anything. Well, this year we're going to give you all the content, and it's all been good, but it's all been a little samey, a little bit. Anyways.
Anyway, but yeah, at the end of the day, I walk out of Eternals wanting a New Gods movie, which New Gods have always been like the better version of the Eternals anyway. So I'm not like, man, I feel so much more confident about the Eternals than I would a New Gods movie. I'm not feeling that way. So that's where I'm at on Eternals. It was okay.
All right. So Encanto, I'm gonna throw it to you, Dragon. What do you think of this one?
I thought this was good. I think it's another win for Disney Animation. I respect that it's a story without a villain. I love the Colombian setting. It's great cast, of course. Our girl Stephanie Beatrice, she's in this. Love her. I love it. We gave her the lead with Mirabelle. That's wonderful. I loved her parents. I think they're all the cast characters. I loved her parents most. Wilmer Valderrama played her father in this, by the way, too. Yeah, I love the whole. Let me put it this way. I kind of predicted this going in, and I mean, I kind of felt it during the movie where Disney has not really been changing the game or wowing. I think everyone collectively since like Zootopia. I mean, we've had movies that I'm not saying they've been bad. I'm just saying that they've been good. They can be consistently good, but not like game changing or like really. Oh man, that was really impressive. I'm not walking at like glowing at like a mile a minute over what I just saw. Like I would have with some of the previous Disney works. I just I don't know. To me, this feels like it would have been better on Disney Plus. That's kind of where I'm at on Encanto. I just feel like this one. I mean, that's just me though. That's where I'm at on it.
So this movie really, really spoke to me, Dragon. I really liked it a lot. I think it's one of the better movies that Disney's done in a long time, honestly.
Really?
So it's interesting that we're kind of coming down on it differently.
I mean, I do like it. I just don't love it.
I honestly think that might come down to the fact that you're not a Lin-Manuel Miranda guy.
And that does bring me to a big criticism, a taste criticism I had, where I think the musical element got old fast for me, with one exception. There's one song I really did like.
What song?
We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Oh my God, that song's such a banger, isn't it?
Yeah, that song was great. But
by the way, isn't it funny that there must be someone at Disney and Pixar who has a grudge against someone named Bruno, right?
So now we know who. now if people want to do a crossover, it's like, okay, so if Bruno wasn't Alberto's father, then Bruno gave him a prediction about his father. Bruno from Encanto.
Oh God! All right.
I'm being silly, but yeah, the Bruno thing was really funny.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I think the soundtrack is amazing. Like, this is the Lin-Manuel Miranda soundtrack that I wanted Moana to be, and I know that's a freaking unpopular opinion, but I don't know what to tell people.
I mean, let me tell you this: here's the bad omen I got at the top of the movie. Then kind of set in as the songs kind of kept coming throughout the movie.
Oh dear!
It's like I had this. So the first song was just really fast exposition to me, and I feel like
it's classic Lin. Like, it's I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. There's a lot of stuff to set up, and this does an effective job of setting it up.
Yes, and it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that not all Heart to Hearts needed to be a song, I felt like, do we really need every heart? Why can't we just have just some nice sentiment instead of we have to do the song and then the sentiment?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't think this movie. I don't think the structure of this movie is all that good, honestly. I just really like the fact that I'll say this much: it's clearly not as great of a movie as Coco. Clearly, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. There's no night and day completely. I mean, come on.
But I do kind of think that the supporting family members in this one are more fleshed out and developed than the supporting family members in Coco.
I mean, to be fair,
I really thought that this was a great ensemble cast, even though not a lot of them got a lot of screen time. I think all of them got really memorable moments.
Okay, well, look, in Coco's defense, we basically chose to highlight the undead family, and we highlighted at least most of the...
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even with the undead family, the twin brothers and the... I don't know. I just don't think, besides the two big obvious ones, I don't really think there's a lot of character to grasp onto there.
Well, I will give it this. I mean, I want to highlight the animation of the animation was phenomenal on this though. Like for example, there was like
Absolutely,
there
for
was a
sure.
subtle detail that really there's a great scene to some subtle details that popped out because it's a really good scene too. Mirabelle and Antonio, the kid who gets like the animal powers.
Uh-huh.
I loved it when he was hiding under the bed. I love everything about that scene. I love you can see like the textures of the skin. It looks like it's amazing what we can do. It's real in every way. And I mean on the character level, I love her parents because I love the idea that the dad's accident prone and the mother heals the accident
Yeah, yeah,
prone
yeah.
husband. I love everything about that. So look, the movie's got a lot of merit to it. I structurally I think it's kind of what hurts it for me. And structurally for me, a little more lean on the
I
musical
won't
side,
argue
but
with that. It doesn't have a great structure to it. I won't argue with that. I would Monkey phrased it as like a basically a Disney musical as a bottle episode, and I like to look at it that way.
hmm.
That's why I think the songs are so intimate. The songs are all heart to hearts, but I think all the songs do a really good job of fleshing out each of the characters. So, all right.
Maybe. All right. Oh, one thing I'm going to call BS song though from
Oh God.
from Encanto, just the one sister with the super hearing. How does she not know what's going on at any point during this
Well, I mean,
movie?
they had a really good gag about that, kind of calling it out, but
The dinner scene was great. I have no compunction there, but I'm saying when you have that scene, it makes you think, wait a minute. Why is no like you mean to tell me she knows everything that's going on? Mirabelle says, "Hey, the house is in jeopardy," and yet like you didn't hear any of that. You didn't, you didn't hear like the grandmother saying, "Oh, something's wrong with the house." I'm
yeah,
driving.
that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway,
All right. Anyways,
okay, let's move on to another movie that both of us again take remember the waitress we've seen the
yeah,
majority
yeah,
of
I know,
these.
I know.
All right, so then we have King Richard.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was like basically Will Smith's like, hey, give me an Oscar, man. I'm trying really hard here.
We got room on my shelf. It's for an Oscar. Come on.
Right. I mean, here's one thing about it, Dragon. I didn't think it needed to be 2.5 hours freaking
Oh
long,
God, no, no.
and I hate when movies overstay their welcome like that, right? Like this to me, I'll tell you what this reminded me of, and for you, it's probably a better comparison. For me, not so much. Kind of felt like Ford versus Ferrari as far as like no, I mean I like it better than Ford versus Ferrari in my opinion, but it's kind of just like your average like it's a feel good sports movie, got a couple really good performances, you know what you're gonna get, bada bing, bada boom, you know what I mean? Is it anything special that's gonna stick in my mind? Honestly, probably not. I've already seen this type of performance from Will Smith back in the day with The Pursuit of Happiness. I don't really think he's doing anything like that much different from what he did back then. I don't know. It's fine. I mean, John Barenthal, he's given it his all. He's likable. I don't know. I really think if this was like an hour 45 or something like if the pacing was tightened up, I really think and honestly, I just don't really think this is a story that warrants such a long runtime. Because frankly, the Williams sisters just did not really. I know this is stupid, but like I don't know. Like I just like the personal story, the way it's like, they're basically child prodigies. It's like they didn't really have any sort of internal struggles or like a big rivalry with each other. I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot to really make a compelling movie off of, Dragon.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, just in parentheses, not that it's a fair comparison, but I think come on, Ford versus Ferrari kicks the crap out of this movie. It was awesome. Come on, it was a good movie. It's me.
Well, I'm not a car guy, so
You don't even have to be a car guy. It's at the
Yeah,
inside.
you do. Yeah, you do.
Come
For
on.
Ford versus Ferrari, yes, you do.
I'm not a car. Anyway, so point being, that aside, So Will Smith's Oscar bid, apparently the Williams sisters they approved this, but originally here's the big thing though, they did not originate the idea. Hollywood was going to make this. They got wind of it. Like, hey, we want in on this. You're going to tell a story. Let's get in on this, and they tailor it towards their father, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I like the core of the story. Like it's a testament to a father who's always believed in his daughters, and I love the idea that I think the strength of the performance and the Oscar kind of bit of it all is that Richard Williams, it's a great story about the struggle of achieving black excellence, and so his daughters never have to live through what he did. And just the fact that Will
Yeah,
Smith
yeah.
is basically, he's basically a man trying to beat his own stereotype with everything in his powers. Like, you will not grow up with people looking at you sideways. You will not grow up like having to go through what I did. I want better for you. I'm going to make sure, like, but again, you see pushing him in a positive light, though, which I really liked. I love the scene where he's telling like the Child Protective Agency, the he's telling like, like everything he's doing right with his kids, and that's where the heart of the story is. And I think that's where all the good stuff is. Also, the dynamic with his wife is excellent. I love the scene where she points at the misguidedness of what he's been doing, where, it's like just the scene where she chews him out over like his ego kind of getting in the way of his daughter's future and everything. So that was great. You're right, though, way too long, but Bernthal's great. Also Tony Goldwyn, the Tarzan, he was in there. He's good too.
Yeah.
It's I like the tension. I like the tension of parenting and like the big choices you make for your child's future in this underdog story. I think that was kind of where I think some of the intrigue of the movie was. But I think the difference for me, though, there was Ford versus Ferrari. It's about the motivations behind the race. Where here, it's a lot of tennis, and I don't care about tennis.
I feel that, yeah.
I don't need to be in the racing because they're just turning around a lot, But in this case, it's like, hey, it's about like, hey, you called, you made fun of Henry Ford, and he wants to get back at you. That's what that movie is to me. Where this, it has that, but then it also has a lot of tennis.
All right.
All right.
Okay, next up we have
Another Father story.
Christmas is back. Oh dear God.
I'm gonna get you for this one.
Wait, did you see it?
Yeah, that's
Oh dear God. Oh man. All right. Let's start with you, Dragon. Let's start with you.
So this wasn't great, except the Kells and John Cleese.
Yeah, so they're pretty much the two reasons to watch it. Everything around them is pure god awful trash.
In retrospect, I wish you would have cautioned me, like literally just skip to the Kelsey Grammer and the John Cleese scenes. But,
basically yes.
Yeah, so that would have been for anyone who wants to watch it. I'd suggest doing that when you're viewing. But of course, you know me, I love Kelsey Grammer. I love the Kells, and he's so darn charming in this.
Dragon, he is goddamn trying to go for an Oscar in this movie.
Yes,
it's fucking crazy.
Kells never does it halfway, kids.
It literally reminds me of like a late 90s Robin Williams performance. Honestly, it does.
It's good. It's good. It's funny. Robin Williams, he did a movie kind of similar. I know it was a Christmas movie. It's Merry Friggin' Christmas, where he plays kind of the distant father coming back for the holidays. So speaking of which, Kelsey Grammer, he's got another father movie on Netflix called Like Father with Kristen Bell.
Oh, dear God.
Much better than this, I'll assure you. Also, I think Seth Rogen's in that too. But anyway. Okay, my point being, so again, the Kells just, he's the absent father who's basically he's coming back for the holidays. And here's the problem in the movie for me, fundamentally. Problem is, I kind of hate the Christmas family, except for.
Oh, I do too. I despise them. I loathe them.
I don't know what this says about me here, but I honestly I can only get behind the male characters in the movie, and it's the husbands, the boyfriends, and the fathers. That's all I can get. That's the only people I can kind of bring.
How dare you, Dragon? How dare you?
I'm sorry, but all the women in this movie suck.
They do. They absolutely. The Beatles one drags me fucking crazy.
The Beatles one?
The one who's writing the Beatles book, and she keeps referencing the Beatles.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
It's like, I don't know. I hate shit like that, man. It's just like, okay, you have one character trait for her, that she's into the Beatles. Good job.
That's what I'm saying. Each of them have one character trait. Okay? We have the lead daughter who's she's the host, who's the control freak, who's panicking about how the family's going to react. And we have Elizabeth Hurley, who's like the snob. He's a mean old snobby aunt. And then we have Paulina, who's just utterly. She's the worst daughter of the bunch.
Oh yeah, she's totally insufferable.
Here's why.
Honestly, I will say this much: he might be one of the worst characters I have ever seen in a Christmas movie.
Here's why I
He's
hate
that bad.
it. I think it was like because again, I like this Felix. I vaguely like this. I don't have any personal attachment to. I like this fat Felix guy. You know, like the
uh
boyfriend that who becomes, I guess, the fiance or whatever. Felix. He gets his car stolen by this daughter, and there's no repercussions for this at all. She took the car with all the expensive clothing in it and
Oh
is
my god.
selling it at the thing. That's his car. Call the cops on her. What's wrong with you? She stole your car, your expensive car. I mean, let me be honest. This movie kind of is white privilege. The movie,
Oh,
and,
absolutely. No, yeah, obviously,
and I
yes.
mean that's me.
Absolutely.
And again, we're white. Look, folks, we're whiter than David I. Pierce skiing here. Okay, this really feels like he's blindingly white privilege. The movie, rich British people. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so I love the Kells in the Santa suit and with his girlfriend, and I love him with the granddaughter. And it's like I think the best scene in the movie is him giving the pep talk to the husband, to Peter, after he's
Mhm.
kind of screwed the pooch in the movie with the misunderstanding. Um, yeah, I'll tell you this though, this is utter BS. As much as I love the Kells and John Cleese, which by the way, just a side tangent. I want to know if you is John Cleese put on a lot of weight to you, or is it just me?
Dude, he's so old. Give him a break.
I would say it was like it was really noticeable though here.
Just be glad he's not retired, honestly.
All right, fair enough. Okay, my point is, so the big twist with John Cleese and like why the father left, why James Christmas left, and it's like, well, so let me get this straight. John Cleese knows what happened, and yet he's going to fight him because he left.
Hmm.
Like big logical there, anyway. So it's Father Christmas back just terrible, except for the
Dragon, just to save time at the end, I think it's fair to say this is going to be both of our worst picks, right?
yes.
All right, just to save time at the end. There we
Okay,
go. We
fine,
just shaved
fine.
off like
Okay,
30 seconds. Okay.
we're just gonna tell them what the best ones were.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, moving on from there. So, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Who you gonna call, Dragon?
Jason Reitman. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So yeah, this has been getting a mixed response. I don't know if you've been privy to any of that.
I'm off this weekend, so I might just see it. Do you think I'd like it?
Well, I
Ooh,
mean,
that's hesitant. That was a long pause. That was a long pause.
A long pause because the fans aren't great. The fans have been iffy on it.
But I'm not a fan, as you know.
That's the thing. I think I don't know. Let me just tell you. And you make your decision at the end whether it's going to sell you or not. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. So it's been a bit of a mixed response. I think there are a few problems, but I really liked it. You know, I really enjoyed it, particularly the third act. Got emotional over the third act.
Okay.
I thought the third act to me was like, you know, for very sparsely this year, have you had moments where it just felt like I got like a chills during a big theatrical experience moment. Like I haven't felt that truly since Endgame, or for me, Free Guy. Free Guy is the last.
Christ.
That's what I'm saying.
High praise, buddy boy.
So again, it's nowhere near as like Endgame is like from start to finish for a 3-hour movie, then gets better and better.
Yeah,
so
that's
Endgame though. But I'm saying it's been that long though since that's happened. So I mean, the most recent example would be Free Guy. Free Guy being the best kind of in theater experience I've had. So I'm just saying the third act of this movie gets to that thrilling theater experience. Like, okay, I'm glad I saw this in theaters. It gives you that feeling.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, let me put it this way. They screwed the pooch on the Finn Wolfhard character entirely. So that's the negative.
That's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
I've been hearing it's kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah. So it's basically that, and I question like the lack of witnesses for like, hey, we're seeing ghosts through the town. Is no one really like not seeing this? So there's a little bit of that, like kind of lack of witnesses of like, you know, how is no one believing that there are ghosts in the town when there's like, they're flying around?
Uh-huh.
So let's see. So that, and I think just character wise, like we develop half of the Ghostbusters team. You know, we develop half of the team. Again, basically Finn Wolfhard and kind of his love interest are like the underdeveloped half of the team. It's like just, you know, like they're there. It's like really we did nothing with them. McKenna Grace though, great lead. She's always been a great actress. I think
I've heard good things. I've heard good things about her performance. Yeah,
she and Paul Rudd were the standouts for sure. I mean, you know, she of course Egon's granddaughter. It's a really touching, kind of beautiful, kind of passing of the torch aspect of the story. There, she discovers Egon's grandfather and that what the Ghostbusters are. Paul Rudd's a lot of fun. Sad to say, doesn't suit up. So no one gets their hopes up like I did. Paul Rudd does not suit up.
Yeah, I don't really care.
But there's gobs of references, gobs like deep cut, but unsubtle and subtle references alike to the Ghostbusters are really fun. I wish Ivo Shandor was the main villain instead of just like we kind of go full circle with some of our Gozer stuff. Think this way, Tiki. The heart was there. The writing could have been a little more ambitious, or just it could have used another pass, and I think it would have been a lot stronger. I think the heart was there, and you feel the heart, especially by the end. And to anyone not crazy about the movie, because a lot of people are like spitting venom about the movie, the diehard Ghostbuster fans, like I like the movies, but I don't go in for like the animated series and everything. So I'm not ride or die for Ghostbusters. Anyone else? So the diehard fans who aren't crazy about the movie, I get it. I understand the complaints are valid if you live and breathe it. But I mean, to them, I say I give them the double-edged sword here. Look, blame Bill Murray if you don't like it. Okay, just blame Bill Murray because that's a reason for the delay and everything, and just why it's taken so long and why it's kind of been in this form that it's in right now. Okay, if you don't like it, direct it towards him. As much as we love Bill Murray, he's going to bear the blame for the Ghostbusters movie not living up to what everyone wanted it to be. I'm going to say that much.
All right. Okie dokie. Ooh boy. Tick tick boom, tick tick boom, tick tick boom. Oh boy. This is great, Dragon. I know you have next to no interest in it at all, probably outside of the Steven Sondheim thing. But I'm just gonna put. I'm basically like not even gonna describe the movie for you. I'm just gonna give a poster quote. All right. So like, In the Heights was basically just like the visuals of that movie were great. But it was a super hollow movie as far as just like they carved out like really, really great heartfelt stuff from the source material. I mean, it's like if I wasn't as intimate with the source material as I was with that movie, I might not have noticed. But man, I mean, it just like the story of In the Heights just pales in comparison to the Broadway version. Dragon, Tick Tick Boom. Not only is it a visually like really great movie, I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he has some really excellent chops as a director for his debut. I mean, this is a really good sign. If this is his first movie, man, I really want to see him. That guy says Tick Tick Boom is okay, but he never trusted Spider-Man 2 out of 10. Oh God. This is Andrew Garfield's best performance ever, and it's not even fucking close. It's Andrew Garfield's best performance ever, and it's not even close.
What does that even mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean? It means that he's fucking absolutely transformative in this movie.
You said it's not even close.
Yeah, it means that like I would say like it's like a real like it's on another level from like something like Eduardo Saverin is what that means.
All right.
Like it's transformative, man. I mean, the dude can sing, Dragon, but it's not just that. Here's the thing. There's a lot of archival footage of Jonathan Larson floating around, like home videos and stuff. And Dragon, the man just embodies Larson just hauntingly. It's almost like a Jim Carrey Man on the Moon situation. I mean,
no one gives Garfield enough credit. I mean, he was so
like
good.
Garfield just becomes Jonathan Larson in this movie, Dragon. it's insane. Just all the ticks, all the nuances, all the nervous energy. It's wonderful. And I won't. This movie does have a lot of Easter eggs for the theater people, and like I'm kind of a theater person, but I don't really care about half of the Easter eggs. You know, I think it's a little self-indulgent. But other than that, I think it's a great story about, like the struggles of turning 30 and still not having accomplished your artistic ambitions. Gee, Dragon, that's not something that I can relate to at all, right?
Right.
All right. So yeah, I highly recommend Tick Tick Boom. I think it's kind of crazy that I was so stoked for In the Heights and this one was kind of on the back burner, but in the end, I think this is a far better film than In the Heights. One interesting thing is that it really is a Jonathan Larson biopic as much as it is a musical. And the musical was obviously autobiographical, but this one just straight up adapts his life using the framework of the musical. So I think that's a really interesting adaptation choice, Dragon. And I don't think I can think of many other many other adaptations that have done something like that. So yeah, really, really great stuff with Tick, Tick, Boom. Honestly, one of the best of the year for me.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I would probably have it in my top 5 of the year.
Again, if you loved Garfield in this, you really should check out Hacksaw Ridge at some point, Tiki.
I know.
All right. Okay, let's talk.
Oh dear God, yeah, that guy, the anti-Bo Burnham turned 18 and got a comedy special. Dragon, like I said, the really trippy thing about Jonathan Larson is that he literally died the night before his dreams came true. Dragon, it's so fucking trippy. It's like he died of a brain aneurysm, I think. Literally the night before Rhett premiered on Broadway. I mean, how trippy is that?
It's more tragic than trippy, but it is trippy. Yeah,
you're right. It's tragic. of course it is. Yeah, but all right. Anyways,
all right. Let me tell you about Red Notice.
Oh, dude, this seems like the most mediocre movie. Oh, look at me! I'm a mediocre action movie with movie stars. Oh.
You feeling pretty big?
Huh? Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, I love this.
I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
go ahead, Dragon. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I love this.
All right.
So for those who recall, Hobbs and Shaw, not a great movie, but Hobbs and Shaw featured Ryan Reynolds and The Rock for a scene. They had really good chemistry, and that's kind of what led to The Rock showing up in Free Guy to ultimately this crossover here. So this was directed by I believe Rawson Marshall Thurber. This guy did Dodgeball and in Central Intelligence. He has been one of The Rock's go-to guys.
Fucking A. That was a roller coaster of a sentence. The guy who directed Dodgeball. Oh, Central Intelligence. Oh,
yeah.
So but also, Scott stuff isn't great.
Well,
I will maintain that Dodgeball is a goddamn classic, like a stone cold classic.
Dodgeball is a great movie, Tiki. It is unequivocally. Anyway, it's a great comedy. So, anyways, this is a fun buddy movie, with kind of some sly heisting, got caper, shenanigans. It's Gal Gadot is a very fun villain. With you love to hate. So she's good. It's kind of seen her play against type in a really fun way. Basically so Ryan Reynolds is a thief. The Rock is this FBI agent, I believe, and he's basically tracking him down because he's going after these Cleopatra eggs, these big old gold eggs. And so is Gal Gadot. She's like the top thief in the world. Basically, I'm going to help you be. We work together. We stop her. You get my name clear because she frames him for stealing one of the eggs. And I'll get you back to being the top spot, and we get to stop her. It works out for everybody. So it's a buddy movie.
Where's the villains from The Land Before Time 2 when you need them, Dragon?
I don't know what that means right now.
The villains from The Land Before Time were obsessed with stealing eggs.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Anyway, so again, it's Heartless Frame teams up with Booth, and it's it's no Free Guy, but it's what I wanted from a Ryan Reynolds buddy comedy with The Rock. I think it delivered on the promise of kind of an exciting, kind of fun trailer. Again, it's just a solid Netflix movie, and apparently it's some sort of record-breaking, number one.
It is apparently the most streamed Netflix movie ever, which is kind of wild.
It's a fun comfort watch, man. It's a lot.
Honestly, that just goes to show that the movie star is not a dead concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Rock is, between The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, you have your movie stars who kind of bring a lot of attention, just kind of name alone. Ryan Reynolds did that Six Underground movie. A lot of people watched that. Wasn't great, but a lot of people watched it. But he was great.
That sentence that you just said right there, I'm still kind of in Flintstones mode, and that kind of sounded like a Barney Rubble sentiment. Oh, well, Fred, that movie, it wasn't great, but a lot of people watched it. All right. I'm sure just the way you delivered that. It wasn't great.
All right, but still, though, so yeah, it's a great comfort action watch, man. You know what I mean? I'm down for whatever Ryan Reynolds wants to do, and I like it when we have a good rock movie, and this was a good rock movie. I get into it. I think.
Dragon, I know a thing or two about good rock movies. Trust me, we'll get there. Little
right.
Foreshadowing.
The point is, I'd rewatch this before I rewatch Jungle Cruise. That's just me.
Mm. All right. Okay, next up, Belfast. Do you know anything about this one?
Got nothing.
Kenneth Branagh, which is probably the only thing that you would care about.
Branagh.
Branagh. Yeah, this is a very autobiographical movie for him, and it is dull. I'm not gonna lie, it's dull, man. A lot of people really love this, and it's got compelling moments in it for sure. It's about Branagh growing up in a small town in Germany where he's as a child, and it's there's a civil war breaking out, and Dragon, basically it's kind of like dealing with the with being on the ground level of a civil war as a child. And that sounds compelling. It is compelling when they have the Civil War stuff, but the problem is there's so much stuff in between that's just like saccharine, and I give a lot of fault to this movie's trailer, because this movie's trailer, Dragon, I kid you not, it literally gives away every goddamn plot point in the whole movie. Every single one. And that really kind of probably killed the experience for me. I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, it's filmed in black and white. It's, Dragon, I'll just put it out there. This is the type of, it's like a best picture front runner, but I really hope that something like Power of the Dog, hint for next month, knocks it off its pedestal, because I don't know. I think this is like the definition of like a 7 out of 10 Oscar bait movie for me. Like it's good. It's got some standout scenes, but it's like, I don't think it deserves best picture. I think it plays it far too safe and far too feel good for a best picture win. So, I wasn't really that impressed with it, honestly. Like I said, it's like a 7 out of 10. Which is, that's not a bad score, but it's not a best picture front runner score. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
right, anyways.
Well, taking the best picture out of it, I mean, did you like enjoy it?
No, honestly. I mean, I thought there were bits in there that were good. The person that's getting the most hyped is the mother, and she does have one really memorable scene. But Dragon, it's the type of movie where it's like, I feel like so much is being put on that one single scene. And that scene, the one scene is great, but yeah, this wasn't for me.
All right.
I don't know. I certainly don't think it would hold your attention, honestly.
That sounds. I mean, just you tell me about it. I'm kind of bored that tears kind of hearing the
exactly.
Describe that movie.
Yeah,
like, man, this sounds like the most dull. I mean, Bronny, what happened, man? You made,
Okay, well, I want to put you. Let's put this in perspective. His last movie was Artemis Fowl. All right, this is a big step up from Artemis Fowl.
That's a fair point. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Oh, poor Kenneth.
And I mean, he's getting a lot of praise for this one, and so I'm on a personal level, I'm happy for him, even though it's not my type of movie. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a passion project, though.
It totally is. Yeah.
I'm glad he gets to do what he wants.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of something like The Artist.
The Artist was fun.
Well, yeah, but it's like one of those type of movies where it's like it's a good movie, it's a good concept. It's not something I want to rewatch again for the rest of my life.
No, it's not. It's not a rewatch movie, but it's a delightful movie to watch. At least once.
But anyways,
all right, okay. The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, tell me about this one, Dragon, because I kind of saw it a little bit on Netflix, and Westerns are a funny genre, man, because sometimes they can bore me to tears, and other times they can be the Power of the Dog foreshadowing. But
I don't think this will bore you, man. This was a great black Western, man. It's in good company with Django. I'm not going to say it's going to beat Django, but it's in good company.
Like I said, at this point, like the Power of the Dog foreshadowing, kind of.
I really wish you'd stop mentioning it because you really should have waited until later today to watch that.
It's going to be hard to beat, man. It's going to be hard to beat as far as a Western in 2021 goes. That's all I'll say.
To quote Bruce Campbell, you're ruining the illusion right now.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm buzzing about it, Dragon. What can I say?
Anyway, so back to this one. Yeah, it's. I tell you, man. I think we might have found a way to revive the Western potentially, and I think I think a potential way of bringing the Western back in a big way is kind of like an earnest, earnest blaxploitation via the Western, like basically blaxploitation without the gimmick of blaxploitation, but the fact of like, hey, let's just do what this movie does is it's a revenge story, but uses the real history, basically uses real life black cowboys and outlaws, as in all of them are historical, Western figures, but for an original story. You have like Bass Reeves, like the famous, the famous black sheriff. Delroy Lindow plays him. It's a stacked cast, man. It's a stacked ensemble of black talent. You got Lindow. You got Jonathan Majors as your lead, who's great in Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
You got Idris Elba as the bad. Oh my God, Idris Elba is so great as the bad guy. He's a real POS outlaw, man. My God, he's so evil in this movie. You got Regina King, Zazie Beetz, Lakeith Stanfield. Like all the guys have been dazzling us with a lot of the films they've been doing between this year and last year. I mean, my God. So it's it has a great resolution to the moral of revenge and how it's never as simple as you think it is. There's this really great standout gag, Tiki, where they have to. Our good guys have to rob a bank, and they have to rob a bank to get enough money. They have to rob a white bank, and this isn't just like a bank populated by a town of white people. Like literally, the art direction, the town is entirely white, so they cannot hide for the life of them. So all of them
Jesus Christ!
It's this really great idea. It's just the movie. Take it. It's got great action. It's got great performances, and it's got some really cool ideas. This was a really great watch, man. This was a really great Western.
Cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
All right. Let's see. Next up for me is Spencer. All right. This is the Princess Diana movie starring Kristen Stewart. It's easily Kristen Stewart's best role ever. I can see this totally being a movie like Judy, where it's a more interesting movie than Judy is for sure. But like the main reason to see this movie, much like Judy, is for the lead performance. Kristen Stewart absolutely disappears into the role for sure. I do think that it's basically dragging the premise of this thing is that it's Princess Diana. It's billed as like a fairy tale based on a real life tragedy. You see that subtitle like right at the start of the movie. And so it's essentially taking like the core elements of the Princess Diana mythos and kind of blending them into like a weekend event that may or may not have gone down. So essentially it's Christmas time at the royal estate. Yes, Dragon, this is a Christmas movie.
Huh. Why the heck is it called?
Because that's her last name, Spencer. Diana Spencer.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
It's funny. We always just call it Princess Diana. Yeah, but they should have a last name. I never thought.
What do you know?
Yeah, I'm dumb. Go on.
Diana was her last name. Her first name was Princess. All right. So essentially, Dragon, this is a movie about claustrophobia. It's a movie about Princess Diana feeling like trapped within the royal family and the royal family just completely judging the ever-living fuck out of her and her feeling every moment of it. And it is very claustrophobic. It is very, I wouldn't say suspenseful, but it's very uncomfortable in a lot of ways.
Very tense.
Yeah, for sure. I will say, though, the pacing is pretty glacial. Like, it did kind of, it really dragged in the middle for me. But, I would recommend this, Dragon. I think you'd get something out of this one. Because, like I said, I really do think, as a fan of biopics that you are, I really do think that there's something to be said about the approach of, this is very much like a bottle story of a big life. You know what I mean? It's it's essentially framed as kind of the breaking point that led to, the downfall of their marriage, essentially. And so, yeah, you really, and she does really good job with the kids. her two boys. And man, I mean, Kristen Stewart just playing off those kids. I mean, she's such a great mom in this movie. All right, that guy, that's not funny. Come on now. I mean, I'll
seriously,
give it a nervous chuckle, but
that one really isn't. That one really isn't funny.
Yeah, that's kind of getting taking the bus gag a little too far,
it's a little much. I mean, it's not so much like the bus gag coming.
I mean, that guy. I just want to throw it out there, though, Dragon. I appreciate that guy's with us 2 hours into this.
Oh, of course I do.
That's dedication.
People by this
point.
All right. Yeah.
Anyways.
Right.
So yeah, this isn't a strong recommendation. I definitely think it's better than something like Judy, but it still kind of has that air of like the main reason this movie was made is to get Kristen Stewart an Oscar nomination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, round us out, Dragon.
Right. Clerk.
Singular, not plural.
Yes, big difference. Seriously, big difference. So yeah,
this it's all right. That guy, don't worry about it. You're good.
So I've been waiting to watch this one for a while. This is the documentary that Malcolm Ingram, Kevin Smith's friend, kind of his mentee to a degree, that he'd been working on for many years, for a while, and it's basically a documentary about Kevin Smith and his life and his career and everything. Basically, Malcolm Ingram, he collected a whole bunch of really great footage over the years, and he assembled it really well. And basically, Tiki, I would best describe this as like, imagine all the podcasts that you've listened to over the years given a great visual component, basically given like an image to go with the story. So it's like all the stories you've heard before, but given like really great footage and really great, it's assembled really well.
Modcast, the movie.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's not just it's the movies. They cover the podcast, but it's more of an emphasis, I think, more on like Kevin Smith, like in the films and everything. But then goes into that shit.
Does it have some evening with material in there?
They talk about the evening with stuff.
Okay.
And they kind of talk about how like kind of that is the precursor to the podcast.
It is, like man. Oh, the evening with series is so good. Anyway,
now I will say this: there are two. We glossed over two things that does bug me. Okay, and there's a reason for it, though. It's legalese. That's why we glossed over it. So obviously, we glossed over the big controversies, which would be Bruce Willis and Southwest.
Oh, that sucks that we can't bring up Bruce Willis.
Now, they bring him up. They bring him up, but they don't talk about it, though, because they can't talk about it. So it's like, and then I met Bruce Willis, and then there's kind of like, it's like, okay, well, you see, and if you know what happened, you know what happened.
Yeah.
He basically says, it wasn't great, and then we move on. And we don't cover Southwest at all, because I'm sure, like, that. I don't know if there would have been how much of a legal ramification there would have been because it's in the past, but you never know.
Wait, remind me of the Southwest thing.
Well, remember he was the whole.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know, yeah.
Which happened like right, I think it was right before Cop Out. Is one that happened during Cop Out. It's one of those either during or right before.
Year for him, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So they kind of glazed over that, but they also you get to see some of the last days of Stan Lee, which is kind of heart wrenching when you see it. Like, it's kind of it's. But we covered the mall rats of it all, stuff like that. But I gotta tell you, it's kind of hauntingly prolific though with Stan Lee when he kind of shows up. It's like you can kind of see it's Stan on the last legs, but what he's saying though, he's using his words very very selectively, and he's saying something kind of nice. It's really it's anyway. So basically the movie is like a tribute to the good that Kevin Smith's put out into the world, and kind of the transitions. I think the transitions through through time and everything kind of worked really well. So through the career worked very well. I enjoyed it quite a great deal. Is it like it's not exactly the best documentaries I've ever seen, but I thought it was like for the Kevin Smith fans out there, I think you'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. That guy says, I don't know. I feel like I'm the only movie guy who doesn't have any feelings about Kevin Smith. The Stan Lee thing does seem cool, though.
Yeah.
That guy, I honestly don't think Kevin Smith's filmography has aged all that well. I'll say that much. I mean, Clerks is Clerks. I love Clerks.
Clerks 2 is still great, though. I mean,
yeah. But, that guy, I really feel like it's less to do with his movies and more to do with him as a podcaster. Like, I truly think he is probably a more successful podcaster than he is a filmmaker at this point. Because let's be honest, most of his movies have not made a ton of money.
Well, that was like it from the outset, though. I mean, let's be
honest. But where's his podcast? Dragon, he makes the big bucks with the podcast, all right?
But like it's not about the measure of success, though, Tiki. Come on, it's
all right. Anyways,
Fact is, he's put a lot of good vibes out in the world, mainly through the podcast. But the film started it, though.
Yeah. All right, so Dragon, let's bring this puppy home, man. Let's talk about some catch-up.
All right. Okay, let's see.
So the Sparks Brothers. Dragon, this is an Edgar Wright documentary. It's directed by Edgar Wright. It's narrated by Edgar Wright. It's got Edgar Wright's fingerprints all over it. I'm sure it's edited by him as well. It's like, I know you're not a music guy. I really know you're not a music guy, and I don't really think you'd be all that engaged with this. But I'm saying, if you're craving Edgar Wright style, this has it in spades, man. It really does. This is an Edgar Wright movie through and through. The big sell of this movie is Sparks is the biggest band in the world that nobody knows who they are. Like, they have influenced everything. They've been around since the 60s, but nobody knows them. They are super underground. The people that have heard their music assume that they're British Invasion, even though they're two California kids. So they are a very, very, very enigmatic band. One of the band members is just kind of like this long hair, kind of like Mick Jagger type. The other one literally has like a thin kind of like Hitler-esque like mustache. Very enigmatic characters, Dragon. Very enigmatic characters. The movie is kind of like a very long sort of, you see how they rise, you see how people feel about their music. The only time I was ever exposed to them at all is, remember that movie from a couple months ago, Annette with Adam Driver. It's the fucking. How can I
forget? It's the little wooden girl movie. How can I forget?
Yes. And then the Big Bang Theory guy who actually gave the best performance in the movie by a long shot.
Yeah.
But they did the music for that movie. That was all their music conceptually. So that's the only thing I've seen of the band. But like I said, I like the subject matter didn't really I still don't know if I like the band all that much, but as far as it's a great, it's a great testament to Edgar Wright's skill that he can kind of transition his style into the documentary format so easily. That guy, I will acknowledge you right now. You have been a trooper in this thing. All right.
Yeah, this is what separates the men from the boys, if the audience can stay through the
No, honestly, yes, I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's talk the mystery movie.
Oh boy, what is it?
All right. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Dune, 2021.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was in that space of like, well, it's gonna go in like a few hours. Should I watch it? Oh god. I mean, it's like, oh, but it's like it's there.
I have a feeling this is not your type of movie.
Well, I mean, look, let me say this first off. So look, I've always had a complicated history with Denis Villeneuve, the director, because I love Prisoners. But I was bored to tears with Blade Runner 2049.
And this is definitely way more Blade Runner.
So here's the thing. So, plus also just to kind of give you this too, I know nothing of Dune outside of like the clips, a few clips, sparing clips of the David Lynch version. Right, that's all I know about Dune. I know it's like a giant sandworm thing. I know little to bupkis about it. So I went into this completely blind to this story, and I'll say this: it's better than Blade Runner 2049. I'll say that much. But I think it loses momentum for me, it loses momentum in the back half. Once we're trapped in the sand, my interest really wanes. It's like,
I totally agree. And I think a big part of that is that they had to stretch that section out to make it a full movie because it's not adapting a full book.
Yeah, and
I totally think that's just an adaptation thing for sure.
So I mean, I liked Chalamet. I liked my favorite. I think one of my favorite things in the movie. I love the Chalamet and Momoa scene. You got to see their friendship.
Oh man, they have such a great chemistry with each other, don't they?
Like that was great. That was my favorite part of the movie, honestly. Oscar Isaacs, he was good. As the leader. I'm blanking on the actor's name, but the lieutenant there, the older gentleman who was like had like the eye thing. He looks up and his eyes turn white. He's like the lead guard or something. That guy, I know him from Tower Heist. It's good to see him pop up and things. So that.
And then of course Josh Brolin, man, he's great.
Yeah, no, I love me some Brolin. That's good.
I love the moment where Oscar Isaac's just like Smile, Gurney. And then he's just like, I am smiling.
Hey, you know my favorite out of context Josh Brolin delivery is?
Oh God, what?
It's really random. Okay, it's from Deadpool 2. It's like, hello, Russell. It's what,
Okay.
Because remember, like, he shows him, it's just Josh Brolin with a smile when he says it, though. Is, hey, Russell. It's just, I don't know. It's like, oh, guys, the last thing you want to see when you turn a corner. It's
All
giant, like, anyway. Okay, so, yeah, so I mean, look, I got into the world building with the whole water filtration survival suits of it all there, but let me put it this way: I would not seek out Part 2 theatrically.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the slightest. I just like if it were on HBO Max, I'd give it a shot, but I will not be seeking that like theatrically. It'll be like oh, is it going away? All right, I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be like the only situation in which I watch the next part of Doom.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah. All right.
Oh God, that guy says I'm going to start a podcast about the Big Bang Theory, where it starts about an episode of the sitcom, but every episode it delves into real life conspiracies. That guy, I would genuinely listen to that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay, Jumanji, the next level. You were talking about enjoyable action movies that are good but not great. This is pretty much the textbook definition of that, Dragon.
All right.
I had a fun time with it. It was a good sick day movie. Is it something I'm going to remember in a year? God, no. Is it better than the first one? No, not really.
Nope, not at all.
But I don't know. I still had some fun with it. I really did. I think this franchise has a really good grasp on action. I really do. I think some of the action in this franchise is really on point.
I do love The Rock acting like Danny DeVito. I think that's priceless.
Oh, totally.
The swaps were really funny, like that, and you had Kevin Hart acting like Danny Glover.
The one that's a downgrade, unfortunately, is Jack Black.
Oh yeah, Jack Black was he was the Fridge. He was like the actual
the
kid that was Kevin Hart in the first one, right?
Yes.
Right.
And Jack Black, just I straight up think the first movie, that's like one of his all-time great comedy performances, man.
It was the first Jumanji is surprisingly good. I mean, basically, you took the namesake out of there. It's a great movie.
But I don't know. I still think it's not a great sequel, but it's a worthy sequel. I had
fun with it too. I remember similarly.
Yeah.
I've had fun with it as well. I wonder if
I mean, like I said, it's a sick day watch. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, Jumanji, that's something I haven't seen yet. All right, why not? It'll kill 2 hours while I'm miserable in bed.
I do wonder where the third one's going to go because it ended on kind of a cliffhanger.
All right.
All right, let me tell you. So a lot of people are going to another documentary on Disney Plus right now. I did not go that way. I went the Becoming Cousteau route.
I'm intrigued by this one.
Yeah, I
will say that other one it's very intriguing, but it's also a 6-hour fly on the wall documentary, and that's not my style. So
it's like, hey, they're writing music and just sitting around coming up with music. We're not going to show clips.
No, you're underselling the fuck out of that, but that's a different conversation. It's the fact that we're seeing the footage, Dragon, and the footage looks so good.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll give Get Back this, or I'm sorry, not Get Back. Fucking Let It. Wait, is it Get Back?
I don't know. It might be.
Yeah, it is Get Back because the original movie was Let It Be. I'm sorry, that's confusing because they're both songs on the album. But I'll give Get Back this. I think Peter Jackson is a fucking wizard with restoration. Like, I think that might be the best thing that he's brought to film. Like from a technical point of view, I think his restoration work is fucking incredible. But
yeah, I mean, let's give him a cinematography award. Let's not watch it let's just not watch it. Like, hey, look at how great this effect is for 6 hours.
All right.
Okay, regardless, Becoming Cousteau. So yeah, this has always kind of captured my interest, but I believe it premiered in October, and I just didn't want to add it to the memoirs on that month, so I kind of had it in my back pocket. And it's like, hey, I'm going to watch this now. So Liz Garbus, documentarian extraordinaire, she did, she's done a bunch of stuff. Like she does some great true crime stuff, like I'll Be Gone in the Dark, the series on HBO, I believe from last year was really good. She did Bobby Fischer Against the World, which is really good. So she has good work. Anyway, so this is about the Rock.
I watched those Patton Oswalt specials, by the way.
Yeah,
they were delightful. Good. Yeah,
I told you. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is about the rise of Jacques Cousteau and how he pioneered deep sea exploration. I think the most interesting thing about Jacques Cousteau is that he kind of in the beginnings he really mirrors kind of Disney in the Epcot years. Epcot. He kind of mirrors kind of Disney. Kind of the whole idea of the
Totally.
prototype
It totally does. You're right. It
in that
very much has that like 60s edutainment vibe. Absolutely.
No, I mean, literally, he had the show that was exactly like kind of what Disney was going for there. But I mean, like, just some of his plans were very Epcot-esque, Tiki, in that
Sure,
Cousteau like
sure.
was
Yeah.
planning on like underwater cities of tomorrow, where it's kind of
Oh
like where you
wow.
could go.
That I did not know.
That's the thing; you get to see some of those plans in there of like it's like an idea you can go down a tube and you're kind of like in kind of these giant tents underwater, that kind of like basically like an aquarium underwater, pretty much. Basically Jaws 3D but practical.
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, so that was really interesting to see. A little, it's a great intimate look at his family life in many spots. I'll admit though, not enough Jean Michel Cousteau for my liking. I love Jean Michel Cousteau. I love that guy. He did not factor in as much as the other Cousteau family members for some reason. I don't know if there's some bad blood there or what. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I love seeing the change in tactic because basically the idea is you get to see Jacques Cousteau through the years and as he becomes an old man, and you get to see him kind of realize, oh God, the stuff that we did in the past might have actually been hurting more than it was helping. We got to change that. Where you see him like trying to preserve the ocean in the later years of his life with the specials and everything, and there's a tragic reveal that happens during basically the third act of this thing's really captivating, Tiki. Gets real captivating. It's you get like there's a reveal that was kind of under your nose the whole time. Like, oh no, I mean it was kind of teed up for you, you didn't realize it. And it's reflected in kind of what happened to Jacques Cousteau's work towards the tail end of his life. Where yeah, there was kind of a different outlook and different tone to what he was doing, what he was kind of preaching out there. It's kind of sad, but it was also kind of inspiring of what he was able to accomplish. It was good. I'd recommend, and for you, I'd recommend. I think it's a really good thing that the National Geographic kind of documentaries have put out. It was quite informative.
Cool, cool. All right. That guy says I will never forgive Peter Jackson for the Lovely Bones, and yeah, that movie's an absolute like that movie is like an existential crisis in the form of a movie. Dragon, it's a shit show. But Lord of the Rings, man, come on, Lord of the Rings, come on. Anyways.
Put that on a poster. It's Lord of the Rings. Come on, here you get the re-release. Buy it again. Come on, buy
All
that
right,
ring.
Green Mile. We did a podcast on it. Fucking masterpiece. Love it. Can't believe I've never seen it. Took me long enough. Moving on. I mean, it's everything, right? It's wonderful.
Well, I mean, you've seen a lot more Stephen King movies than I, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm just asking, perhaps, like just in comparison to some of those, like
I mean, that's hard to rank because, of course, most of the Stephen King movies I've seen are horror movies, and it's kind of hard. I mean, it's up there for sure. It's up there.
Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, that brings us to Joyride. Yeah, this was great, man. Joyride is it's kind of it's a documentary, but it's kind of like a
Oh,
stand-up.
it's not the Joyride I was thinking of. Then
No, this is
okay.
this is
You know what Joyride I'm thinking of?
I know there's like the 2001 version.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't
I
know.
was
I
like,
don't know.
Joyride? That's a random pull for Dragon? Okay.
What's that Joyride about, Tiki? What's the 2001 version about anyway?
I think it's about like a guy, like it's like a horror movie about road rage, I think.
Right. Well, yeah, that would not be my cup of tea at all. So this is to me far more grabbing. This is kind of like a comedy special meets a documentary. So this is about Bobcat Goldthwait and Dana Gould. These two comedians, of course. Bobcat Goldthwait, a lot of of course, a lot of people know him for Police Academy. I know him for there was XL and Buzz Lightyear's Star Command. You know the voice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this is so what happened was these two guys, they're buddies, and they were driving to a comedy special, and they got into a car accident on the way to a gig. It wasn't super serious. At least they kind of joke about whether it was serious or not. We don't know, but gave them perspective and kind of led to okay, let's go on tour and do some stand up and kind of storytelling stand up. And basically, it's a really great kind of glimpse and it's a great overview of Bobcat Goldthwait's career as well as a little bit of Dana Gould's. in there. It's kind of it's a great summation of Bobcat and Dana Gould. It's very funny. Stand-up's great, and again, it's very informative. They have like some great footage. Basically, they managed to get all the clips of Bobcat's infamy, like when he set the Tonight Show on fire, when he destroyed the Arsenio wholesale, like all the crazy Andy Kaufman shenanigans he pulled on talk shows. They got all the footage of it, which is great. It's a real personal, raw glimpse at the mind of a comedian, at the twisted minds of comedians. Again, like you have like the fact like all of Goldthwait's buddies have got like Robin Williams and such have died, and he's kind of reconciling with that. And you have Dana Gould, who's like, you get Dana Gould's history, which is interesting, where you see, his religion, kind of scammed his mother throughout her life, and really interesting stuff. I'd strongly recommend this, Deke, especially since you've been on the stand-up kick lately. Mm-hmm. I'd really recommend it.
All right.
That's the thing. That guy makes the point here. Bobcat Goldthwait is a comedy legend. Not enough people talk about for sure. I mean, the Bobcat, he gets really scathing too. Like he has a feud with Jerry Seinfeld that I don't think a lot of people know about, and he gets to chew him out here. It's just kind of funny.
All right. Last Action Hero. Oh my God, this is such a maligned movie, and it's delightful, Dragon. It's fucking delightful. I like it a lot. It's not a perfect movie by any means. The main kid actor is really annoying, but just conceptually, it's great. I think this movie does a really, really excellent job of setting up the Die Hard type action movies, Dragon. It really does. It's a great parody. And I really feel like that's what a lot of people kind of missed about this movie when it first came out, is that they were criticizing it for, not being a great action movie. I'm like, no, it's not a great action movie. It's a comedy. It's poking fun of Die Hard. Like the whole opening scene is like one big lampoon of Die Hard. And, the whole premise, Dragon, is basically, this kid gets pulled into the world of the action movie. So it's, so it's like all this over the top stuff that's going on. Schwarzenegger is honestly like, he's fun. He's very fun. This is fun Schwarzenegger. He's just kind of like Schwarzenegger kind of trying to be John McClane, So I had a lot. It's a little overly long. I'll give it's like it doesn't have to be over 2 hours long. I'll give it that for sure. But I had a lot of fun with this, man. I think this movie's got a lot of imagination, and I think it gets shit on way too much.
The villain was a lot of fun. I've shot someone, and I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, it's great. I don't know. Like I said, it's got some structure issues here and there. It doesn't have a perfect story, but I just think conceptually it's awesome, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's something that you recommended to me, Collateral.
Yes, I was glad to see this on the list. How do you like it?
Yeah, so I enjoyed this. It's got a really, of course, I love the premise. I like the.
This is, of course, the year where Jamie Foxx was nominated for both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. Big year for Jamie Foxx. I love the irony of this character that Fox plays is not a fan of jazz compared to soul, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I tell you, my favorite scene in the movie is the visiting Max's mom in the hospital, and Vincent just like charming the pants off of the mother.
Right.
Just cracks me up. I will admit though, the only issues I have with the movie are I think there are some conveniences in the story I just can't buy. Like the fact that, okay, so Max, why do you keep going out of your way to tick this guy off? You're going to toss the bag with the money and the information like over the bridge. We have to do this so Max can step up and pretend to be the hitman. It's like it just feels like a lot of I can't really get behind that. The biggest BS coincidence of the whole movie though, Jada Pinkett Smith is the target, really. Really? Look, she was fine. She's fine in the movie, but you mean to tell me we had her like just as a casual encounter at the start, and maybe like, oh, Vince is going to talk him into like calling for a date or something. Like, no. Jada Pinkett Smith is like the last name on the list apparently. So, oh god, it's also title. I don't get it. I don't get the Collateral. I use Collateral Damage, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, it's based. It's Collateral Damage, yeah.
I wonder why they didn't just call it Collateral Damage, though. I
don't know.
All right, anyway.
Maybe copyright?
That's a fair point. Okay.
Okay, a yabba dabba doo, Dragon. We have a full podcast about this one, folks, so check out our Flintstones Film Fest coverage for full thoughts, but needless to say, I think this was a fantastic Flintstones movie. It's the best Flintstones movie there's ever been. I mean, it's like Dragon. Never had I thought that I would be so emotionally wrapped up in the Flintstones. It is goddamn compelling.
I told you this was the one that got me.
I mean, I made this comparison before, and I will make it again. It's like it feels like it has a Jordan Peele level of like satire and suspense to like, oh God, like Fred is like trying to throw this wedding and everything is going wrong. Like I genuinely thought like the rising budget was kind of suspenseful almost. You know what I mean?
Again, the saddest moment in the entirety of the Flintstones. Fred Flintstone selling his prized bowling ball for $2 to pay for his daughter's wedding.
And I think a runner-up to that is Barney Rubble's full-grown son seeing him in a dress, basically whoring himself out for money to help Fred.
Exactly. Oh my God.
I mean, Jesus Christ. And then just like Bam Bam, like full-grown Bam Bam, like comforting his father.
Yes. Oh my God. I love this movie so much.
Yeah, it's great.
So great.
All right. That guy says he watched Man on the Moon for the first time this week. That guy, if you have not seen it yet, absolutely check out Jim and Andy as a supplemental feature to Man on the Moon. Absolutely.
Yes, the documentary, the Oscars snubbed when it came out. It was so good.
Well, it's the Oscars of Best Documentary, Dragon. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Always snub the best ones.
There's already been like 2 or 3 this year where I'm like, oh, that was really good, which means it's not going to get nominated.
Yeah, the Bob Ross documentary is certainly not getting the nomination. I can see it now.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Honestly, you know what? I'm pretty sure this year it's going to go to the Sparks Brothers, and that'll be okay because it's Edgar Wright.
It'd be amazing if just as a random pool. I mean, this is the only way you can make it okay that we snubbed others just for the randomness of it all. If Clerk won the Oscar for Best Documentary. In some way, shape, or form, Kevin Smith would have gotten the Oscar.
If Won't You Be My Neighbor didn't get it.
That's what I'm saying. I know it's insane.
Mr. Fucking Rogers himself didn't get it.
That's what I'm saying. This is the fact that the documentaries have always been kind of screwed. Like, if you're really not going to give that movie, let alone a nomination, you know, it's just like there's no hope for any movie.
We'll rewatch Jim and Andy. God damn it, that guy.
Yes. No, but yeah, seriously, Man on the Moon and Jim and Andy, great. Seriously, great movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, then,
bring it home, Dragon. Bring it home.
Clean and Sober. So this is like the perfect bookend. It kind of bookends with Dope Sick, Tiki, in that. So the idea is this: Clean and Sober is kind of like a big moment in Michael Keaton's career that no one ever talks about. This is like an early Keaton movie, and this is like the one. This is like right before Batman '89. This is 1988. You know, this is when he gets to show like the range as a dramatic actor, and everyone's saying like, "Oh, Mr. Mom." It's like, no, look at the movie he just did. He can do. He's not just Mr. Mom or Beetlejuice. Come on.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
This is like right before '89.
Gotcha.
Tiki, the premise of this movie, and again, this one's very much about drug addiction as well. So it's kind of very much like this. Assumedly, this is the reason Keaton said yes to Dope Sick to some level, because he has like a really. Assumedly, this is a big movie for him. Where anyway, so the premise is ingenious, Tiki. So you have in the '80s, you have like a real estate yuppie, like who sells real estate. You know, kind of like he always wants to climb the ladder, win at the stock market, that sort of thing. He's a coke addict, but he doesn't know it. He's like, you know, he thinks, I can control his problem. Point being, he's a coke addict. He's partying with this young lady who basically wakes up and she had a heart attack overnight. So he's embezzled a lot of funds in the company. Point being, this guy's on the lam. Like the cops have told him not to leave town. He's in trouble. He has nowhere to go. He has no friends. He's alienated all his friends with his embezzlement. He's got nowhere to go. He's desperate to hide. So what does he do? He checks in the rehab for the discretion.
Okay. I like that. That's clever.
So he hides in rehab again. He doesn't think he has a problem. He's just faking it. You know, so he's like
right, for sure.
Of course, obviously, he's in denial that he has a problem, which basically he'll be shown the light throughout the movie. Morgan Freeman is the guy who runs the program, but Morgan Freeman's good in this movie. Let me tell you who the real standout is. Okay, the real standout of the movie is a legendary actor, from the olden days, Emmett Walsh. He plays
Okay.
the sponsor. Emmett Walsh is, legend in the business. Been so many things. Character acted through so many things. I love him in The Jerk. I love him. He's was on Home Improvement. Did a lot of great stuff. Anyway, so Emmett Walsh. He plays like the sponsor character. Opens the movie. Basically gives inspiring speeches to rally his fellow kind of recovering addicts, and he becomes Keaton's sponsor. And he reins Keaton in so perfectly. There's such an integrity and wisdom of, like, this is a guy who's an older guy. He's been around. Like, oh yeah, I've seen you before. I know what you're feeling right now. He's trying to help him out, like, legitimately, as Keaton's just kind of been on this program for false reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, I'll admit the only issue I have with the movie is the love story. You don't really need. They kind of work in a love story there. But
a 90s generic love story for the sake of having one. Nice.
Yeah, so there's that.
Gotta love it, Dragon. I'm so glad that cinema's evolved past that, honestly.
Yeah, so there's a bit of that. But regardless, Keaton really delivers. I love this. I love Dopesick a little bit more, but I love this.
Right.
Again, they're excellent as these as Keaton doing addiction stories. They're very well handled.
All right. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to give a shout out to some of the movies coming out in December, because it's a stacked freaking month, man. We have, of course, the big ones like No Way Home, Matrix, which I don't know how I feel. Matrix is probably going to be an HBO Max watch for me. But we've got a lot of big ones, man. We've got West Side Story. That's a big one. Licorice Pizza, which has just been getting a ton of hype. I'm stoked for that. God, I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting, Dragon, but big month. All right, so we know what the worst is, Dragon, but what's the best?
All right, well, the best is kind of a tie for me. I got it's between The Harder They Fall and Joyride. Joyride was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But probably, if it gun to my head, I'm going to say The Harder They Fall. It's really
all right. Okay, you know what? I don't even think it's fair to put The Green Mile in with this, just because that's such a goddamn landmark movie.
And let's just say unofficially, The Green Mile is the winner.
I mean, yeah, it's like by all accounts, The Green Mile is,
Like, how do you beat the Green Mile? I'm scared of the Dark Boss. Like, how do you beat that?
But for me, I'm going to go Tick, Tick, Boom. I think Tick, Tick, Boom is a great indication of the future of Lin-Manuel Miranda's career. I can't wait to see what he does next. Andrew Garfield deserves a fucking Oscar for it. I'm rooting for him. Wonderful movie. All right. Let's get out of here, folks. We've waxed on long enough. It's time to put what?
Well, let's thank that guy one last time.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so that guy, bro, seriously, I'm going to just sit you down and pat you on the back, man. You're one of the good ones, bro.
Well, Charlie Bucket, you made it to the end. Congratulations.
I mean, Dragon, when people do stick with us through these long ones, I really do feel honored. I genuinely do. That's not me being sarcastic. I really do feel honored that people would take their whole evening to hang out with us. So that guy, you rock.
Heck, we appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we have waxed on long enough, and it's time to put the pen down. God. Until next time when we return for another fitting chapter in our movie memoirs. Watch out, Tom!